20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. But please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Country in the Park 2, presented by your California Army National Guard. October 23rd at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Russell Dickerson. Plus more. Enjoy line dancing, live DJs, mechanical bull, and food trucks. Tickets start at just $70. Country in the Park 2, October 23rd at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra, the California Office of Traffic Safety, and Caltrans. More info at CITPFest.com.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports 1140, your local sports leader. Live from Las Vegas for NBA Summer League, presented by Power Business Technology.
This is the Drive, baby!
The Drive Guys, Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles. It's drive time with the Drive Guys.
Welcome back to the Sack Shack in Las Vegas as we get ready for another big day of Kings and Summer League. Whitey Gleason, Alan Stiles. Here's the three biggest things going on right now. We've got, of course, the Celtics and the Kings tonight. No Acuff, no Max, no Neek tonight, Alan.
Well, we knew that was probably going to be the case, but unfortunately now we have confirmation. And you can still take some things from the game. We're going to get into this throughout the duration of the show. Still some things. There's a big thing, I think, Whitey, to take from it in Alex Caravan and what opportunities he might have today. So still excited, obviously not in the same way, but still excited to see what the young Kings can do.
Yeah, second big thing going on right now, of course, World Cup with Argentina leading England 2-1. Thirdly, and probably best of all, this is the biggest event of them all, the Alan Stiles 40-yard challenge. Alan went out today, run around the street. I don't want to say ran around like an idiot, but you draw your own conclusions. The video is blowing up, and I, just a moment ago, before we started the show, was in the back of the compound. I thought I overheard somebody saying, "Oh, you've got a challenger, another media member coming after you," or did I imagine?
Yeah, so we posted the video. We ran it, or I ran it, I don't know, 8:39 in the morning, and we were waiting to drop it. We dropped it towards the end of the midday show.
By the way, you realize Whitey's wake-up was postponed because Chris had to go out in the street with you.
Oh, well, thank you for being flexible. You know, then when we have content ideas, you got to get them out. My legs were already warm. I did not want to sit, I ran less miles this morning because I knew I was on the run.
Right.
I was kind of huffing and puffing, to be honest with you. And I said, you know what? Maybe we should do the 40 today. So I ran less time. I get back, and Chris is about to go on the morning show. And I said, I'm going to come back. Chris, while I'm still warm, let's go do it. I get out there. Chris is waiting to do his hit. So, Whitey, it's about 20 minutes. And I'm thinking, no. Can't let the muscles, tighten up a little bit. Luckily, it's 120 degrees out here. So I think that might be impossible. So we knocked it out. Frankie was a part of it, too. And
was he? What did he do?
Frankie timed me.
Oh, okay.
Chris did the video. So I didn't know it postponed things, but why do you know how these things go?
I do.
And I'm apologizing because I know a lot of people want your Whitey's wake up, so they had to wait a little bit longer to get that content.
Well,
but
the thing is, then you wormed your way into Whitey's wake up.
That's right. I'm all over the place. But here's the thing, and I'm going to say it one time, and I'm going to say it one time only. Kevin John, you commented on the video. You said you could smoke me in a race, ABC 10. I just saw you a couple days ago. My good brother, name the time and the place. That's all. That's all, young Kev. You name the time, you name the place. I know you got those long strides.
He does have, I was going to say that.
He's got long strides, but this ain't the high jump, Kev. This ain't no hurdles, Kev. You name the time, you name the place. I'm ready.
I hear he's like Usain Bolt.
I need
3
video.
steps and he's done.
Hey, I need video. Matter of fact, anytime somebody want to hop on the text line or the YouTube, you call in, you got something to say to me, before you even speak on that, Let me see your 40 time. Let me see your 40 time before we get to any of that. The fastest host in California. I had more in the tank, so stop playing with me.
Why limit it to California? You're in Las Vegas.
I think you're right.
Why not the western states?
I think you're right. On the West Coast.
Yeah.
Look, I gotta get back to California. If I can get to I ran a 4.86, Whitey. If I can get to a 4.7, I think we can expand to the West. But 4.86, I don't know. We were out of town. I don't necessarily, want to be dealing with any injuries, any catastrophes, anything like that. I didn't even tell my wife I was running it, and that was on purpose. So we wanted to get out of Dodge, set a baseline, let people know that it is not a game. It's not a game in these streets. If the Kings had the same level of compete that I had this morning, they wouldn't have got shellacked yesterday. They need to actually, Jay, I know you got some numbers. We're going to send the 40 to the Kings before the game get them ready to go to take on the Celtics. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do.
That's an idea.
It's a good one.
Now, I know they're not as popular as they once were, but, Dude Perfect, the guys with all the impossible shots.
Yes.
And you see the one video and like, wow, how'd they make it? And sometimes they, it takes them a couple times to make it. I know a lot of people are wondering, was that Allen's the only time he ran, or did he run a couple of times? Were there some times where he was recorded saying, "Oh, that can't be right. We'll have to do it again," or anything like that?
We ran maybe 2 practice runs with me not at 100, trying to figure out what exactly the distance was. I had an app. So we were.
You got to get the lighting and the cameras right.
We were working.
And you don't want to overextend yourself on those.
Exactly. We were working to get to 100%, and so I ran a couple. I only ran one at what we're calling 100%, but honestly, it really wasn't fully 100%.
Well, okay. Okay.
What?
All right, I could have run faster than I did.
I mean,
that is exactly the type of thing that you typically complain about when someone else does it.
It is, but look, when you're sprinting at my age, you can say those types of things.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different.
Okay. So hopefully people aren't overreacting to that video by Allen. I'll tell you what, to me, Allen, is the worst form of summer overreaction. And we're all guilty of overreacting. How many times this week have we said, I know it's only summer league, you can't overreact? How many times have we and our guests said that? A lot. This is what I think is it's my least favorite form of overreaction. And I think in many ways it's the most unfair. That is when you have a player that you think your team should have drafted but didn't. They draft somebody else, and the player you wanted them to draft has a better game at summer league than the guy they did draft. And people react with, oh my goodness, how did they draft Caravan when they could have drafted Brazil?
Right.
Or Malik Thomas? What in the world is going on?
Yeah, and you see a lot of that, and Malik Thomas is one you're hearing the name a ton, and I know Trayvon Brazil, he was on the target list, right, for that, third? It was the third pick because they only had 1 second rounder.
I know they worked him out. Yeah.
Right, because they went up for Alex Caravan, and Trayvon Brazil was not there by the time they were ready to take Emmanuel Sharp. So in a world, did they kind of take Caravan over Brazil? Yes, because even though it's first round, second round, I don't know how many people thought Caravan was going to go. He was right there on the fringe of the first round. Same with Malik Thomas. And, of course, like I mentioned, Trayvon Brazil. But this is what it comes down to. There's the conversation about guys that play well and overreact, and it feels like almost every player here has had one of those games that are exciting and they show what they can do, but Caravan is not one of those guys, and that's exactly why the number one thing I'm hoping, I am wishing, I'm praying for is that Alex Caravan has a good game today. This is a first round pick. This is the same pick range of Neek Clifford in last season. Neek Clifford, I know different types of players. Neek Clifford was the focal point of the offense. You know, how many people do we have to talk to that forget that Alex Karaban got drafted? They gave up capital to go get Alex Karaban. So I think this is the biggest story for today's game. Can he look comfortable? Can he look like he's having some fun? It just feels like he, you know, I know injuries can throw you off, but just finding a way to get him in some sort of rhythm. And I don't know who it's going to come from. This is a big day for the backup point guards with no Neek or obviously no Acuff. So Isaiah Stephen, guys like that.
My guy.
Huge day for them to show what they can do. This is a big day, Whitey, for those fringe guys, along with somebody like Alex Karaban.
I understand that if you wanted your team to draft somebody, if you wanted the Kings to draft Thomas, and you weren't sure they should have drafted, say, Karaban, and then your guy has a good game, I understand where you might say, well, I was hoping they'd pick him. But, you know, to make snap judgments on, they made the wrong pick after a couple Summer League games, look, ultimately, you may be right. I recognize that. But to do it after a couple Summer League games, you demean everyone when you do that. We got to be better fans than that. Here's one thing I'm struggling with, though, as we all try to figure out what's real, what's not about Summer League. This is something I'll have to ask some of our guests today. I look at the Kings and how they are committed to a defensive-minded identity, at least an identity based on toughness. And you've got a point guard that I know you drafted him. You know, people have said, well, they didn't draft him to be a good defender. All right, clearly. But at what point do those things match up where we want to be this type of team? He's not a good defender, but it's okay. So I think it's interesting, Alan, to see. We won't see it here fully in Summer League, especially not today because he's not playing today. But at what point do those things come together for the Kings? I'm a little concerned about it.
But and you've said this a couple times, I'm trying to figure out what your concern is. There's so many teams where there are more teams where the best player, it feels like, isn't great defensively than there are teams where you just have this elite two-way guy. We all talk about Shea. There are times where they switched Shea off of certain players this past season, but Shea is a two-way guy. Kawhi is a two-way guy. I think LeBron, of course, in his heyday, a two-way guy. Then you see the new landscape of players. You know, I'd have to do more kind of breakdown. Cade Cunningham is a name that comes up, and I know Anthony Edwards takes a lot of pride on defense as well. But you have the Stephs of the world. You have the Brunsons of the world. You have the Lukas of the world. You have the Hardens of the world. Oh, well, Harden didn't win a championship. Yeah, well, he was in the playoffs all the time. He's going to the Hall of Fame. So, yeah, I don't necessarily agree with how worried you are about a singular player. It's almost as if it's an unspoken, Whitey. Hey, we love defense, but our star guy is not great defensively. Now, the Warriors, like we said, and Steph, I know he might be a little bit underrated now or a couple years back.
He's not horrible as a defender.
Right. I think he's there was a time where he wasn't good, right? But as he got older, got a little bit stronger, got a little bit wiser, he definitely became a serviceable defender. But in those years where he wasn't a good defender, the Warriors still had a good defense.
Well, the answer to the question is, how do you do that? Of course, it's about surrounding a guard who you hope will become a better defender. Until he does, you surround him with better defenders, especially in the middle. It seems to me, and in response to your question or your comment about the players you mentioned, most of them are surrounded by really good defenders, and a lot of them surrounded by centers who are really good defenders. And, the Kings, Maxime Reynaud is a key figure going forward. He's not a good defender either. So I don't mean to be, this guy is falling here at Summer League, but it's a concern when you're talking one way and your personnel doesn't, right now anyway, a lot of your personnel doesn't line up with your philosophy.
Well, right, yes. Now, the Acuff thing, those are two different situations, because you have the Acuff thing who you did draft, but as we've said time and time again, no real connection to Sabonis. And even though Sabonis' the defense is a bit questionable or maybe lacking.
Rim protection anyway.
Yes, rim protection. I still think it's the effort thing. It's the rebounding. He brings a lot to the table there. But you have a Zach LaVine who's going to be gone at the end of the season. That's really where it is. That's where it ends. Maybe you want to throw in Malik Monk because, Malik Monk isn't great defensively, but I think Malik Monk shows a lot of effort. You could make the argument argument that Malik Monk is a good example for Darius Acuff, because Malik Monk, nobody is going to be calling him to be first team all defense, but he gives effort. That was the story coming out of training camp last season. So there's the conversation of having the personnel. There's a conversation about effort, and I think where that lands is the guys that Scott Perry has brought in. They all are going to have to show that level of effort, including Darius Acuff. But the guys that he didn't bring in, I don't know what he's supposed to do.
Well, how do the Knicks do it, and how does this line up for your 9-1 Knicks comparison here? How can the Kings, with the personnel they have, do anything close to? People came after you, I think, a little more than they should have. You just made an interesting observation,
right?
Which, in fact, some others picked up as if it was their own.
That's right.
So how do the
at
Kings,
the station?
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
funny enough.
So how do the Kings make that work when you've got a point guard right now? Let's face it. I know a lot of people have been going out of their way to say, "Oh, he's not that bad defensively." He's been pretty bad defensively.
It's been
and he's
rough.
a rookie. And you've got Maxime, who's not a great defender. How do the Kings make that work?
Yeah, I think the Maxime shout is interesting, but I would maybe counter that by saying Karl Anthony Towns isn't great defensively either. Now, Karl Anthony Towns and Maxime, he's working on getting that three ball up quicker. I can see it. Keep doing it, Playboy. You are doing a great job. So that right there, I don't have any issues with, Whitey. We got the parallels right there with Maxime and Karl Anthony Towns. Obviously, Karl Anthony Towns is an insane player and very, very highly touted. But Maxime is trying to get there. I think Keegan Murray is the key, and we're going to talk about Keegan Murray a lot on today's show, because I think that he is the key that unlocks a lot of this. For the 9-1 Knicks, you need him to be somebody that the other team fears offensively. Maybe not the first on the scouting report, maybe not the second on the scouting report, but hey, we got to keep an eye on Keegan. And I'm not saying he can't be more than that. I'm just saying at the very least, he needs to be that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he is that right now.
Yeah, I know you've been in the public eye for quite a while now. And the scrutiny sometimes, it becomes almost unbearable. And you have to actually alter your behavior because of that unfair public scrutiny. Yesterday everyone on the station was talking about team dinnergate and this and that. And it got to a point where we didn't want to, but last night we had to split up for a dinner.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, nobody wanted to, but
right.
we were forced into that.
Right, to keep everybody. Hey, we're not together. We are not on the same page.
We sure wanted to be.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But we thought it was the best for the station at large.
Yeah. Jay and I went to Yardbirds, and I'd never had a cheddar cheese waffle before with fried chicken, and I ate all of it. And Jay had fried chicken, and I know you guys were hanging out with Bobby Flay.
Yes, we had Bobby's Burgers, Bobby Flay. Very good. Let me just say that. Very good. I've been waiting to go there. This was a crisp.
What separated them?
A good burger needs a good bun.
Okay.
And it was a good bun. And for me, I need my burger. Enough people, they don't season their burger patty well enough.
Okay.
I need a seasoned patty.
Good tips.
Whitey.
Yeah.
All right. So when you fire up the grill, I know we're still in the summer. It's hot. I know it's hot in Sacramento as well. Season that patty. Season that meat. I know some people, we just want the meat to speak for itself. Yeah, okay. But just think about it like this. The salt and the pepper, it just accentuates the flavor.
Did you go cheeseburger or just straight up?
I went rodeo burger, and it had cheese, bacon, onion rings, and then I added pickles. And then I had bacon cheese fries.
Yeah.
That's why I need to run every day to eat like that.
Yeah. And then tonight, I don't know. We just kind of have to take the temperature of public opinion.
Well, I have plans.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
But I'll catch up with you.
Yeah. All right. That's good. Do they involve anybody else here with the crew? Or?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, poor Alan. I know you wanted to be with everybody.
I know. I did too.
It causes so many problems. For us.
I'm just gonna leave the situation entirely.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. And you mentioned how hot it is here. I think yesterday it was hotter in Sacramento. I believe it may have been hotter in Sacramento than it was here in the desert.
Yeah. Well, right now it's saying 109.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
We caught you today.
Yeah, we caught you, but I know it's hot in Sacramento, so hey, stay cool out there, everybody.
Hopefully the Kings are able to cool some of this frustration and overreaction and all the naysaying about the play of Darius Acuff. And I know yesterday we were talking about, boy, the Kings get off to that terrible start, which they did. They kind of made it a little more respectable before fading again. And Darius Acuff had 26, so that looks good on the box score. But I agree with you in retrospect. He scored, 13 of his 26 in a non-competitive third quarter, so certainly better than going, 2 for 21 or something.
Right.
But we still need to see a little more from Darius Acuff. We won't see it today, but we do have that game Friday against Charlotte.
Yeah, there were, I think it was either the NBA Instagram account or NBA on ESPN, one of those accounts. They posted Darius Acuff, and they said, Darius Acuff, future is bright, and it said 26 points and all that. So, of course, I ran to the comment section, and a lot of the comments said they lost by 30. He did a lot of this when it was already over.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the third quarter, he had 16, so it wasn't over. They were defending him, don't get me wrong, but there were some buckets.
It was pretty much over.
We saw it live, and it was pretty bad. And, the game ended, and I said, oh, man, was I too hard on the Darius Acuff, the scoring and not giving him enough credit? And I slept on it, Whitey, and I maybe a little bit. I got enough. I got enough Z's. Maybe a little bit, Whitey. Maybe I should feel a little bit more optimistic just from the standpoint of he was seeing shots go down, but that next level of, some of these top picks that we're seeing early in the game going at it, and it's a tough contest and it's a close contest. That would have really, you put up 15 at literally what Michael Brown Jr. did, to be honest with you. If you flip that, I think most people would take that over the 26 points any day of the week.
Did you hear? You probably heard or saw that Michael Brown Jr. apparently went to the coach and said, I want to guard Acuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, that
wasn't their game plan, according to the coaches. We weren't going to do that.
I'm getting Wemby. I'm getting Wembiness.
I'm just telling you what's being reported.
I'm getting Wembiness.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not buying that? I mean, people can see that he guarded him.
He did guard him.
Yeah.
I'm not buying. It's not that I'm not buying it. It's that it's a convenient, nice story. Everyone's got a dog, Whitey. All these guys drafted these guys that they all love basketball more than life itself, and they all just go above and beyond to do all this stuff.
You're saying maybe they exaggerated.
I think.
Hey, do you want to guard him? Yeah, and then they turn it into, we weren't going to put him on him.
Yeah. He forced us. He locked us in a room and said, I'm guarding Acuff. That's real quick, Whitey, and I don't normally, it's Dodger 1964, so I don't even know why I'm responding to a Dodger fan. But
by the way, 1964, the Dodgers didn't win, the Cardinals did.
There you go. But Dodger 1964 says, Styles, did I hear you correctly? Clifford was the focal point of the offense last year with 3 question marks. Yes, in the summer. We're talking about Summer League.
Right.
And how they were essentially running plays for him during the Summer League. He was the focal point. So no Clifford today. So he's not going to get a chance to go back to that. No Acuff. So your ball handlers, you don't have a lot out there. We'll see Emmanuel Sharp. We'll see Isaiah Stevens. But this game to me, and Maxime Reynaud as well, this game to me is about Alex Caravan. One man and one man only. Alex Caravan.
Yeah. I'm wondering if we're going to see Max at all. I'm wondering if he's done or if he'll play against Charlotte. I would think Acuff and Neek will play against Charlotte. Boy, how the mighty have fallen. The 2 teams that were in the Summer League Championship last year, Alan. Man, oh, man. That might be the story of the Summer League, but it's probably not. Here's the thing. Yesterday we were on the air listening to Dylan Cardwell's post-game comments, and he said, he literally said we were soft. We got punked. We can't do that. And we were wondering whether he's going to play today. And I threw out there, look, he's one of the guys I want out there today. A, he didn't play that many minutes yesterday. And B, he is a guy that's going to make sure it doesn't happen again. So, yes, I'm glad that he will be playing today. And he and Emmanuel Sharp, emerging perhaps as the leaders already, at least in Summer League, they're going to take care of that today. I'm confident, because the one thing the Kings cannot be today, they can be many things here the next 2 games. One thing they cannot be is soft.
Yes, that is a non-negotiable. Win the fight on the court, off the court, wherever it is, go take it to them. And, yeah, it's interesting when you bring up the leadership thing. Like, they're two I know this team is going to make more sense than last season, but I do want to kind of get into the idea that there's still not even 2 timelines, but dang near 2 teams.
Ooh, don't say 2 timelines.
I didn't.
You did.
I didn't. But it does feel like there's essentially 2 teams.
Yeah. I got to ask, how are you doing with the reports that the Lakers may be continuing to zero in on your guy, Jonathan Kuminga?
Yeah, I saw Iman Shumpert maybe let something slip, or I don't know if it was
Former
on.
King. Yeah, he said, they've already signed him, and someone said, no, you can't say that yet.
Yeah. And look, I hope it works out for them. It's cool. Now they got.
I'm worried about you.
Now they're going to have Luka. They got Walker Kessler. They're going to bring in Jonathan
Williams.
Kuminga. Yeah. I do want to see what it looks like, because is this the opportunity for Kuminga to find a role in the league? Right? Are you going to figure out who exactly it is you want to be? We talk a lot about a Jaden McDaniels on the Timberwolves. Mm-hmm. They don't really play similarly, because Jaden McDaniels has let the offense come to him because he's got Anthony Edwards. Meanwhile, Kuminga has wanted to be the offensive hub. So being with Luka, you're going to be off the ball a ton. I know he's got lob threats, but does this force him into a world of, all right, this is my role. I'm a souped up 3-and-D guy. I'm a 3-and-D slasher guy.
I think one of the issues with Jonathan Kuminga in terms of getting these contracts, obviously any player is entitled to ask for whatever they think they deserve, but it seems like he wants to be paid more for what he thinks he can do than for anything he's actually done. Mm-hmm. And that some teams are, they would rather not pay somebody based on what perhaps they could do.
Yeah, paying on potential.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. And you know what? The team that's going to pay you on potential is the team that drafts you most of the time, right?
Yeah.
That's that rookie extension, whatever it is. You're not going to get paid on potential from, again, we were talking about Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray, he got that contract. I don't believe that Keegan Murray was playing at that price point, right, previously to signing, but the Kings signed it to him because you are going to get there while you are on this team. Teams aren't going to do that for a guy that they didn't draft in Jonathan Kuminga. They're just not. So he had to get over it, and I know he just posted a video of him doing his thing, but it's the same type of stuff that I think Warrior fans were not annoyed with, but hey, we know you can do that, or Steve Kerr, I should say. Can you do the other things that we're asking of you? And he wasn't able to show it. So we'll see if this is the time where he says, okay, I'll listen and I'll find a role.
Yeah, basketball obviously is a team game, and no one player can dictate a team's fortunes. That said, what single Kings player will go the furthest next year to determining what kind of year they have? Rebuild, hybrid rebuild, tank again? What Kings player will go the furthest in determining individually which way the Kings go? We're back with that and more. It's a drive, guys, from the Sack Shack in Vegas on Sactown Sports.
The end result went against the Kings in a major way, but rookie guard Emmanuel Sharp once again made the most of his summer league opportunities. After another strong night from the floor with exceptional effort on defense, has Scott Perry potentially found another steal in the second round of the draft.
Your exclusive home for Kings basketball.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Whoa, what's all this? These screens, the food?
All for the game, bro.
Dude, let us pitch in.
No need. I've got it all covered. With T-Mobile, I'm saving $1,000 bundling my wireless and internet.
No way. Really?
Yep, and the price of my plan won't change for 5 years.
Wow, what? I'm definitely switching to T-Mobile.
Goal!
Here to score big with T-Mobile. Families save up to $1,000 a year when they bundle fast, easy to set up, all-in 5G home internet with 4 phone lines on Experience Beyond. And your plan price guaranteed for 5 years. Stay connected con tu gente and catch every match with T-Mobile. Join now at T-Mobile.com. Price guarantee on talk, tax, and data. Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Savings based on third line free via monthly bill credits. Internet discount with $15 in monthly bill credits and auto-pay discount. Qualifying credit required. Credits may take up to 2 bill cycles and will stop if you cancel any lines or change plans.
Remember when a driving range was just a driving range? Yeah, Hagen Oaks doesn't remember either. Reserve one of 3 top Tracer bays from 6 to 11 p.m. at HagenOaks.com. Only 3 bays are reservable, while the rest of the range remains open for walk-ups. Play virtual golf, then grab food, drinks, and a seat in front of the TVs at the hangout. Throw in live music and suddenly your quick stop at the range turns into hours of fun.
Yeah.
Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Side effects may include laughter, bragging rights, and one friend insisting he would have won if the wind wasn't blowing.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, Hoblet Dodge Chrysler
sure,
Jeep
we can
Ram
do that.
in Woodland. I've heard you're extending the 4th of July sales event because the deals were just so good.
They were the best deals of the year, and
Yeah,
we wanted
let's
to
just
keep
come
the
up with
savings
us.
going. Right now, you can save up to $10,000 off
Thank
MSRP
you.
on new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport S. If you're looking for a truck for everyday life that you can still take off-road, the Jeep Gladiator is for you.
My brother had one, and he loved it.
They are really cool trucks for sure. But Hoblet is so much more than Jeeps. Whatever you're looking for, you can find it at Hoblet with our Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter. With 200 vehicles and over 50 under $30,000.
Can you turn the mic off,
Search,
please,
select, and
Jay?
save through our whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection, nobody beats Hoblet. Period. 10,000 total net savings
Access
on select
one.
new 2026
Just
Jeep
for a second.
Gladiator Sport S after $36.20 Hoblet discount and factory incentives. Incentives may include 10% below MSRP incentive, 500 military or first responder bonus cash for eligible members, 1,000 Hoblet trade-in assistance with eligible trade, 3 net savings, simple VIN 175877. See dealer for details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
The sounds of summer. They're great until they're not. Luckily, AutoZone has free battery testing and charging
Let me check that for you.
to help make a rough moment smooth. Don't miss the Celebrate Free event at AutoZone. Free products with select deals until July 27th. And free services every day. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty. If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Live from Las Vegas for NBA Summer League, presented by Power Business Technology. Here's Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Including the Gardeners came by today. They've been here a long time. We may have more to hear from the Gardeners today. Alan, I know that you just got a text or a message of some kind from one of our Sacramento media luminaries.
Yes, it is from Jason Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, congratulations on your time in the 30-yard dash. Are you kidding me, Jason? You too? ABC 10? The Sacramento Bee? Same place? Y'all all can get it at the same place at the same time. Okay, we have our golf league, we have our basketball invitational, and now we have our track meet that's going down. It's a lot. It's all for a good cause, you know, and we're really excited for what we're going to be able to bring the good people of the 916.
All right, you mentioned golf, and we have a special guest joining us now.
Okay.
Just royalty, Sacramento golf royalty.
All right.
Joining us now from Sacramento is Tom Morton. Tom, how are you today? Thanks for joining us.
You bet. How are you doing, guys?
Good, good. Did you have something for Alan Stiles today? Did you have some tips for him or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing when I'm driving around sometimes and I'm listening to the show and I'm hearing about this golf thing that he's doing and sputtering around with. And I'm just wondering when I get to see him out at the golf course to maybe help him a little bit.
Tom, I need the help, Tom. I know you've been texting Jay, Tom, okay? And I'm going to get out there. I need help. You know, I got these hybrids. My friends make fun of me. I need to get right, Tom, please. I need to come out there.
Anytime. I'm waiting for you. I mean, you've been hearing what Matt George is doing. He's been tearing up the golf league.
I know. And honestly, it's very upsetting to me. It is extremely upsetting. So I'm way too competitive for that, Tom. So I need to get out there. Whatever you're telling Matt, you need to tell me. I know every swing is different, but I cannot let this continue on. He's just, the way he looks at me is even different, Tom. And I'm absolutely sick of it. I'm sick of it.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Well, it's a perfect week. You know, we got British Open this week. It's a great week to get out there and play some golf.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Tom is a legend. He actually even helped me with my game a little bit, and he's played on the tee, played in a professional event. But I want to ask you, Tom, you as a great, outstanding coach, you've got a keen eye for talent. Is it possible that Matt George is just a superior athlete, talent styles?
Well, when it comes to golf, clearly that's the case at the moment, but, you know, we'll see what we can do about that.
Now Matt George has to run a 40 time too, because that's the only place I'm going to get him. And then after I work with you, Tom, I'm getting him on the golf course. I'm sick of this.
And then, you know, then you have to get after Carmichael Dave because, you know, he's doing it.
Yep. I know I haven't golfed with Dave before. I have golfed with Jason Ross. He's got a sweet swing. And I have golfed with Matt before, but this was before whatever golf magic you put on him. This was a couple months ago. So I think I have to play another round and see what Matt just won't shut up about.
Matt the Marvel,
his new swing that he's unlocked. It's all clicking for me, Alan. It's all clicking. Okay, we'll see about that.
Yeah, you know, Matt's been putting in a little work, and it's been awesome to see for sure. But you know, the word on the street is that you're a pretty good athlete, so I think we could do something for you.
There we go. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah. Thank you, Tom. I may have to pay Tom a visit, too, if he can squeeze me in. Thank you. We appreciate your time. And thanks for listening. Above all, we appreciate that, Tom.
You got it. You guys have a great one.
You too.
Thanks, Tom. Tom's going to get me right. I got some celeb golf tournaments coming up, and I will not be the anchor. I will not be the anchor.
Yeah. Matt the Marvel.
I got to see this, man. I got it. Well, we didn't hear it. We didn't get to do crosstalk because the league is on Wednesdays. So I wonder how he played yesterday. I'm sure I would have heard if it was another
That's the thing.
course
I
record.
think if he played well, we probably would have heard.
That's right. So, hey, Matt, how'd you do? Didn't hear anything from you.
So thank you to Tom Morton. Yeah, and Tom was supposed to surprise you, and I know you saw his name on.
I was very confused. I was very confused, but it makes sense now, Jay, with some tricks up the old sleeve.
Yes.
And you were in on that too. You were in.
I was as surprised as anybody.
No, you were in on that, definitely.
Tom Morton, what the heck?
Yeah,
I was flabbergasted.
And you know
Alan.
me, because we're out here. I'm thinking, is something going on? I think I asked Jay, does he have an interview? Yeah, he has an interview on your show. So, okay,
he was
Tom.
recording something for Golf to Go.
That's what I thought was going on here. Jay. And then Jay just looked at me. I said, Jay, okay. All right, it'll be okay.
All right.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, great teacher and a wonderful person as well. Now, Alan, which player will have the biggest impact on which way the Kings end up going this season? What individual player? Is it going to be about, is it a cup? I think Keegan's going to have a lot to do with that.
Yep. And I laid it out in the first segment. A lot of Keegan today, just because you're watching these guys in the wing-driven league that we've discussed. I think it's Keegan. A-Cup is right there, but it's hard for me to say that about a 19-year-old, right, who's going to be finding his way within the league on a team that is not truly his yet because of some of the elder statesmen. So that's the difference to me between him and some of these other situations. Let's take Cooper Flagg, for instance. Kyrie was injured, right? Anthony Davis ends up getting traded. So it was the Coop show. And obviously first overall pick, we understand all that. But a lot of these guys get to go to situations where this is my world. It's almost as if Darius A-Cup didn't get his license, he got his permit, right? He'll get his license when when Domantas Sabonis leaves, or if he leaves, I should say, or when Zach LaVine, his contract expires, and it's Darius, it's Sabonis, and it's everybody else. Right now, I think like I said, he's got his permit. And the driving test, Whitey, I don't know if they had those, these cars when you were taking your driving test, but there was a separate.
The Model T.
With a separate brake.
Yeah.
Where they have a brake on the passenger side. So if you go too fast, they can brake the car.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So that's the type of car that Darius Acuff is in right now. So because of that, my answer is Keegan, because Keegan really doesn't have to answer to anybody.
I ended up in the same spot as you, but I asked a question thinking there's a wide variance that it's possible that the Kings might be, if things fall into place, I should say, that the Kings might even, at least for half the year, be somewhat, competitive and within hailing distance of a play-in spot. I think that's possible.
Yeah.
Jay's going to throw something at me now.
No, I know. Yeah. He's running around getting ready for another call, but he'll hear that and he will have something to say to you. I don't disagree with you fully. I want to fast forward a little bit to whenever the schedule releases, because
should be next month sometime.
Let us not forget how crazy the beginning of the season was for the Kings. I'm not saying that they would have the season would have ended up any differently. Well, what was it, Whitey? The Nuggets 3 times, Oklahoma City 3 times. I know they played the Timberwolves felt like 7 times.
Yep.
We know that we know it's going to be a little tough because their NBA Cup in-season tournament group is really tough. So some of those games are going to be baked in. But outside of that, if they flipped it and had a softer schedule to start the season, I could see them gaining some momentum and feeling good about things, and that does help for a conversation in a possible trade for Domantas Sabonis. It does help in a possible trade for Zach LaVine as well. So if they get lucky and the beginning of their schedule is basically the opposite of what it was last season, you might not be as far off as you think.
I think we may be talking to your buddy today, right? Brett Siegel, who may have some insight.
Yes,
as
4
to
p.m.
demand for any of these Kings at this point.
Yeah, and I know we spoke a little earlier. He had that article that came out about LeBron and the Warriors. So this is the basketball, the NBA conference as we're calling it. So we're happy that Brett's going to get to hop on and tell us what he's been hearing. Got to talk to him in person, which is always nice, and just break bread a little bit. When we first arrived after that crazy flight situation, which seems so long ago.
So long ago.
So happy we're going to get to talk to Brett.
Mm-hmm. We also are going to talk to Fran Fraschilla, who was a great college coach and outstanding basketball analyst at the top of the hour. When we come back, we have another quarterback list, Alan, that I wanted you to take a look at.
Great.
This is Chris Sims, and it's the 10 greatest quarterbacks of all time in their primes. And all I'll tell you before we take a time out here is that Tom Brady is nowhere near the top spot.
Huh.
Is there any way we can take that seriously? We'll look at it next year from Vegas. Drive, guys. Sactown Sports, don't go away.
SactownSports.com is your online home for sports in Sacramento. Dive deep into the Kings, 49ers, Raiders, Giants, Athletics, and more with your favorite local personalities and some of the most trusted sports voices in the community. Stream Sactown Sports 1140. Watch original video content and read in-depth analysis all in one location. SactownSports.com. Your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Carmichael Dave here. So proud to talk about my new friends at Pest Pros, where they are family owned, they are locally rooted, and they are committed to serving Northern California. I got a mouse problem at my house, and I don't like mice. I got a cockroach problem at my house, and I don't like cockroaches. That's a real thing. You're going to get pest protection somewhere. Why not get it at a place that is locally owned and operated? Longtime Kings fans and partners, and the community, yeah, you've spoken. They're back-to-back Sacramento favorites. So if you got pest control, you don't have Pest Pros. Step up to the pros with their all-star lineup. Don't just make the call, make the right call. Go to pestprosps.com, Sacramento grown, family owned, or call them at 916-588-9345. That's 916-588-9345. Step up to the pros at Pest Pros.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds, and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you, with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So, yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou, because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds, too. Get a quote right now at 800-381-4183, 800-381-4183, or biglou.com.
The Gold Rush Classic is a celebrity Pro-Am golf tournament, $1 million hole-in-one, a celebrity skins game, a draft party, and a concert under the stars. The Gold Rush Classic raises money for Jordan's Guardian Angels, Make-A-Wish, First Tee of Sacramento, local youth, sports, and other worthwhile children's charities. The Gold Rush Classic takes place on August 6th and 7th in Rancho Murrieta. Join the fun, raise money for charity, and play golf with basketball royalty like Reggie Theus, Kenny Thomas, Olden Polynice, or Greg Ostertag. Or if you like football, we have Lloyd, Merriweather, Sharp, Schumann, and OK Baseball. What do you like? We have those guys too. Jesse Orozco, Frank Arroyo, Jim Barr, Greg Vaughn, and others. Sponsorships are still available at goldrushclassic.org. The Gold Rush Classic is sponsored by Atkins Family Vineyards and the Sheldon Inn on Elk Grove. They're the perfect pairing for any occasion. For sponsorship information, visit goldrushclassic.org. Country in the Park 2, presented by your California Army National Guard, October 23rd at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Russell Dickerson. Plus more. Enjoy line dancing, live DJs, mechanical bull, and food trucks. Tickets start at just $70. Country in the Park 2, October 23rd at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra, the California Office of Traffic Safety, and Caltrans. More info at CITPFest.com.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Live from Las Vegas for NBA Summer League, presented by Power Business Technology. Here's Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Yes, from a Sac Shack. We're getting ready for Kings basketball this afternoon, early evening. The Kings and the Boston Celtics. By the way, listening to our outstanding sponsors during the break, and I heard the promo for the upcoming Gold Rush Classic. Jesse Orozco is going to be there. Jesse Orozco, Alan, is a subject of one of my very favorite baseball stories of all time. He was a left-handed reliever. Back when you could bring in a guy to face one hitter and take him out, which you can't do anymore. He pitched forever. 1986, make a long story short, the NLCS, the Mets are trying to clinch things so they can go on to win the World Series against the Red Sox. They're trying to beat the Astros. And they've got a great series, and Orozco's trying to nail down the final game, and he keeps throwing fastballs, and the Astros are coming back. Whack, whack, they're coming back. And Keith Hernandez says he went to the mound from first base and said to Jesse Orozco, you throw one more fastball, I'm going to punch you in the face. So maybe we can talk to him about that. Then, because he had that good breaking ball.
Yeah.
Had that good hook.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's not some rumor. That's Keith Hernandez said that happened.
Yeah. Got to switch it up. Got to switch it up. Wow.
Hey, how about World Cup final today, Alan, with Argentina advancing with a win over England 2-1.
Who do you think? Yeah, I mean, we were trying to watch as much as we could as we were getting ready for
that was on in Alan's
show.
room. Alan and Brendan's room.
Yeah, Brendan found a way to get it on. Wow. Back to back. That would be crazy.
I know one of the things that a lot of people who don't watch soccer all the time complain about during World Cup is, why can't they figure out the extra time? How can we have the games? We don't know how much time is left. I'm not the biggest soccer. I don't pretend to be an expert. It's a new sport to me for the most part, and I've just come to accept it. I understand, but not all games are the same. Not all sports are the same. That's how soccer's been forever. It does kind of add an element of excitement. We're not sure how much time is up. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of
Unwritten
rules to it where if the play stops or something like that. So
right.
I think the problem is you get the tinfoil hat people out there, and myself included, and there's certain countries that are bigger brands than others, and it all kind of ties into it. But yeah, the idea of not having, you know how I'm going to bring it up, Whitey. It's similar to baseball, kind of in a way. I guess baseball doesn't have a time limit. It does have a for sure end, and I guess
they get your 27 outs
exactly, and football or soccer doesn't necessarily have that, because to your point, and I don't know, to be honest, I wish I could have watched more of this World Cup, but these game times have made it a little bit tough. But I've seen the extra times that they've added. It does feel like they've been some higher numbers. I play FIFA a little bit, and you'll see a 4 or maybe a 6. I see a +9 and stoppage time, I should say, +9, and I've seen some high numbers there.
Sometimes they just have a question mark. And that's a little suspicious.
And it's just gonna go, just go. Just a hashtag. You just don't know.
So that does open the door to some conspiracy theorists. But in the NFL and basketball, you have clocks. Do we ever have any tinfoil hat theories on football and basketball? Of course.
Yes.
Baseball doesn't have a clock. Any conspiracy theorists have their way with the Major League Baseball? Of course they do. So that's just going to happen.
That's right. I do feel like baseball has, this is, and we are here in the summer, but it does feel like baseball has the least amount of conspiracy theories,
That's
right?
because people don't care as much. I say that as somebody who loves baseball. There are. People don't care the
but
same
there's
way
less
about
kind of egregious notes, right? Like we don't have to bring it up. Sacramento Kings and the Lakers. There's less egregious examples.
I guess so.
Of things.
But when you got the Reds are visiting the Pirates on a Tuesday,
right?
There's just
it's just easier to get away with it.
Yes.
There's always paying attention.
Yes.
But I'm talking about like a World Series game.
Yeah.
Where, and I know someone's going to say in 1887 actually, but it just every
1918.
Every strike for the Chicago Black Sox everything was a strike. It was just obvious that something was going down. I know it's happened, I'm sure, but for example, Mahomes and the Chiefs and the holding calls. The best team in baseball doesn't get the same benefit of the doubt as the best team in basketball, less foul calls on Lou Dort, or the best team in football, less holding calls on the Chiefs. So that's why baseball is the pure sport. It just is.
Okay. Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. We mentioned football. Chris Sims is under fire. The great Chris Sims. He has come out with a list this week on his podcast, and it's the top 10 best quarterbacks in their prime of all time. And love it or hate it, Chris Sims did play in the NFL, so he has some cachet. And one of the things that people are upset about with this list, I give him credit because we just talked yesterday with Jeremy Fowler, right, about his list. Everybody's got quarterback lists. So he has one, and he puts Tom Brady way down on the list, and that has everybody agitated. Number 10, Roger Staubach. Number 9, all-time quarterbacks in their primes. 9th best, Tom Brady.
Yeah,
I'm not the biggest Brady fan. I want very much to say, yeah, that's legit. So I'm working on it. I'm struggling a little bit, but I appreciate that somebody put Brady 9th.
Is there a specific, can you give a breakdown of what his metrics are?
Yeah, I would have to.
Or is it just the guys that he likes?
Yeah, I think he said that Tommy got a lot more help than some of the other quarterbacks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear, who's in front then.
Yeah, so Staubach 10, Brady 9, Danny Marino 8, Lamar Jackson 7, Josh Allen 6, Brett Favre 5. Yeah, it's awfully hard to have.
Yeah, this is
9th on this
is
list.
crazy.
I think he said something about Tom Brady wasn't the most mobile. So let's see who's on the top of this list. 4 is Elway, 3 Aaron Rodgers, 2 Mahomes, and number 1. This guy could beat you with his arms or his leg, but not his neck. Peyton Manning, not the most mobile quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, what in the world are we doing here? This is the type of stuff.
Not even top 5.
No, this is the type of stuff that, Chris Sims does a great job, and we know he's in the media space. We know he played in the NFL, so it's a little bit different. Hey, I played, so that matters. But this is the type of stuff that makes everybody wonder, are you just trying to get clicks? Mm-hmm. So I'd have to really hear his breakdown, but without it, it just sounds as if he wants what is happening right now to happen, which is people that are not thinking about Chris Sims to talk about Chris Sims.
Yeah. Quote, if you put him in some other situations, I don't know if it would have looked as pretty. Brady amazing, but not going to extend plays, needs pass protection, no backyard plays, very few in the history of his whole career. He was awesome in his prime, but some of these other guys we're going to talk about are like one-man shows, end quote.
Okay.
Chris Sims.
So it's kind of how we always joke about the alternate universe Brock Purdy. Hey, basically he's saying if other teams had as much help as Tom Brady had or other quarterbacks, they'd have similar careers. Mm-hmm. That's essentially what he's saying.
He's really saying Tom Brady is a system quarterback.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know how you can say that when he went and won another Super Bowl at age 44.
Another good system.
For another team.
Another good system.
Uh-huh.
Only played for good systems.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand what he's saying, and it kind of makes sense because the Patriots were obviously on their way up, and then injuries, and Tom got an opportunity. So Tom, he never, similar to Brock Purdy, he never started on a team where the team was in the middle of or starting a rebuild, and everything was going to be on. Everything eventually was on his shoulders, but the team was already a bit ready to go.
Yeah, if we were to not number them 1 through 10 and just say these are the 10 best, would you be okay with this group? No, I know 49er fans. Well, where's Joe Montana?
Yeah, where's
Joe?
Steve
Young?
Yeah, you need. I would put Steve because I love Steve, another lefty, but no Joe. No Joe might be more egregious than Tom Brady at 9.
Now we're talking.
I
appreciate that from a Raider fan.
Josh Allen, Lamar. I understand how exciting they are, but I don't know. Felt like he was trying a little bit too hard. Mm-hmm. You don't got to overthink it.
Right. Maybe it was all about getting those clicks in the media. And when we come back here from Las Vegas, Kevin Durant versus the media, round 5. Guess who won again? Also, we'll help you get ready for the Kings and Celtics at Summer League. As if you need any help getting ready for that. It's a drive, guys. It's what we do on Sactown Sports.
The Kings started the preseason red hot, but have come back to earth after a blowout loss to the Brooklyn Nets at Summer League. With missed opportunities and poor execution now coming to the surface. How will Sacramento's young core respond to their first taste of adversity?
Your exclusive home for Kings basketball.
Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's summertime, and Aleve is here to keep you on the go. Whether it's planes, trains, or automobiles, Aleve's got your back with up to 12 hours of back pain relief. With just one dose, you'll get to your destination and be ready for your next adventure. So pack your sunscreen, your shades, and your Aleve. No matter where your final stop, Aleve will keep you moving. From sunup to sundown, Aleve's got your back this summer. Feel Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown, 411 16th Street, and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. But please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Is the volatility of the stock market driving you crazy? Is your retirement account sinking, yet you're getting older? And you're starting to worry about, will I have enough for retirement? What about the money in the bank? These banks pay nothing these days. How do we get growth to get to retirement account? It's simple. Move into gold and silver. Want to know how to do it? Listen to my show, Striking Gold, with me, Kenny Michaels.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/music. That's ethos.com/music. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Today, we tip our wrench to Rock Auto customer Jeremy.
I've been a RockAuto.com customer for over 15 years, and now even my kids order their parts there. Prices are always far lower than the local auto parts store. Selection is massive, and the site makes it unbelievably easy to find exactly what we need. Every order shows up fast, and the quality is always top tier. RockAuto.com has earned my trust for life, and I highly recommend them.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Emran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports 1140, your local sports leader. Live from Las Vegas for NBA Summer League, presented by Power Business Technology. Here's Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Thank you for being with us. Thank you, Alan, by the way, for making a guest appearance on my Whitey's Wake Up today.
Of course.
Yeah, the multi-talented Alan Stiles. He may or may not be going out with somebody who's in town for a Backstreet Boys concert.
Yes.
And Alan, I'll just say, very familiar with the catalog, right?
I am.
Okay.
I am. That was the first concert I went to was Backstreet Boys.
Mm-hmm.
4th grade.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. They gave us glow sticks. And, back in the day, when you get the glow stick and you want it to work for a longer period of time. I don't know if it actually worked or not, but you crack the glow stick. It said Backstreet Boys on it. Mom, thanks for taking me to this concert. You put them in the freezer.
Yeah.
That was supposed to keep them,
right.
I guess, glowy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it really worked. Those things stayed in our freezer for about 2 years.
But those memories of that show will never leave you.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I want it that way.
Yeah, and the memories of singing a Backstreet Boys song with you today on Whitey's Wake Up, those memories will never leave me.
Ever.
I have a feeling no matter what I try.
Ever.
I'm just going to stuck with them.
Ever. I'm so proud that I got to be a part of it.
Me too, so thanks for that. And if you haven't already, make sure you check out Alan's video running the 40 today.
Yeah.
It's a nice video. I give him a lot of credit for having the courage to do that, but I don't know. Alan seems to just be a magnet for criticism sometimes. Everybody's coming after him.
I know. First,
for no good reason.
It was Kevin John. Well, those that can't do, want to speak on those situations. So first it was Kevin John, then it was Jason Anderson. I have gotten some love though. G-Man did like it on X. So G-Man, he's got my back. And we're not done yet. A lot of people are, I think, marveling at the speed that I showed there. And now I got to do it again. We got to get the time down a little bit. I do have an update. My wife did see the video.
And?
I got when they say something and they say it in a way as if they're laughing, but they're not. You know what I mean? Like LOL. It's just a simple LOL.
Yeah.
It's not an LOL. It's did you really just do that? Then I told her I wasn't going to tell you beforehand,
Well, good luck with all of that.
Oh, yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Speaking of the G-Man, we saw him out at the Thomas and Mack a couple nights ago, and then we'll hopefully and probably see him tonight. The Kings have, as you know, taken on the Celtics, but we have no Maxime today. We have no Acuff. We have no Nee Clifford. I'm wondering if anything that has happened so far at this Summer League has changed at all the way any fans are looking at this Kings team right now.
I think that is 100% happening. Actually, I saw this after the game. Of course, yesterday's game wasn't great. This is from Ryan means Little King on X, and he says, "I'm suddenly cool with having Monk, Hunter, Sabonis, and Levine on the roster." Laughing emoji. And I think that stuck out to me because the relegation zone is real, and a lot of fans are still processing how you cannot tank. And it's fun to be excited. And even with Maxime, did not have a great game. And it's fun to be excited about the young players. And hopefully, eventually, it will be their team. But any world where, you're praying, I think, for Sabonis to get moved, and then you'd have Maxime playing a ton. Let's say Sabonis, and here's a question, Whitey. If Sabonis and Zach LaVine got moved tomorrow, would the Kings be, because the return probably wouldn't be outstanding, right, as far as the players. Maybe they'd be a little something, but I don't think they would. They would not be as good as those players. If LaVine and Sabonis got traded right now, would they be in the relegation zone?
Yeah.
They would.
Probably,
They
yes.
would. And I do think that's maybe part of the thought process with Scott Perry. Well, look, if you're telling me I'm going to trade Domantas Sabonis for bad value, and we will be a worse team, and that could cost us as far as the odds to draft next season with this new lottery reform. So I wouldn't be in a rush to trade him either. And I think yesterday was maybe a bit of that reality that some fans needed. I think myself included. I'll include myself because it's trade them, let the young guys play.
Right.
Now, hold on now. Hold on now. If you trade them, and maybe going back to those odds that we saw from MGM with the Kings having the worst odds to win the championship, maybe that was MGM saying, hey, they might lose Sabonis, they might lose Zach LaVine, and they're not going to be as good as they would be if they were on the team.
That tweet, that post by, you said it was Ryan Means Little King?
Yes.
Yes. That puts the kibosh to that, knocks the legs out from under that notion, as you said, that argument that they should just play the young guys. We heard that a lot last year. People were frustrated, but especially now with lottery reform, there's just, that's never as good an idea as it looks like when you're frustrated.
Right.
But right now, it would be very foolish. But I think it's very unlikely that any of those guys are gone before the season starts.
Doesn't feel like it. Like we said, Brett Siegel at 4 p.m. I guess tease it a little bit. the conversation.
Oh, here we go.
Or no, I guess
I've had conversations.
No. The overarching theory this summer league compared to last summer league is that it's just been fairly quiet. It has been fairly quiet on the front of just everything is status quo.
Yeah.
Domantas Sabonis is Domantas Sabonis. There's some teams that are interested. They don't want to lose him for too little. Zach LaVine, I don't really know where that goes. I think really what it turns into is, hey, we're just tabling both those guys until we are in the season.
Yeah, Allen has a tell. I'm not being critical. It's just an observation. When he talks about something in the NBA, if he even uses the word conversation, as he did right there, sometimes it's, I've had conversations. But right there, he said, well, the conversations are. That means he's talked to someone. So just so you know.
It's not a tell.
When he uses
sometimes
conversation.
I say whispers or rumblings.
Okay. All right. But I mean, when you don't want to say you've talked to someone, but you have that in your mind, conversation is a word that comes out.
Yeah. Well, if you hear that, we should do a giveaway. When you hear the word conversation, you get a free Kings something. We should do that when we get back home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So hopefully the Kings tonight will bring some level of competitiveness. But again, as I said yesterday, as I've said many times over the years, watching the Kings and many other bad teams at many other levels, sometimes when you're playing basketball, this may be true of other sports as well, but when the other team is bigger and or stronger and or faster than you and or better, and you play them and they just destroy you, it looks like you weren't trying. So I don't know that was the case yesterday, but that doesn't make it okay. I don't think it was a lack of effort by the Kings. They were just physically unprepared for that game, and that's not good.
They should be well rested for this one, though.
Yes, they should.
They should be well rested for this one and looking to get a better taste in their mouth than what they left with yesterday. And Dylan Cardwell, I'm sure, being able to play in this back-to-back, I'm sure he's going to have something to say. Whitey, the text line has something to say.
Yes.
This is the 916 that says, this is Dino. I would be bummed about Domas, but I would be doing an Irish jig if LaVine was gone.
Yeah, I would not be, just because, unless they got something of great value, because, again, he's Zach LaVine right now, nothing against him, but he's almost got reverse value for you. And I don't mean he doesn't have value. I mean he has a lot of value for backwards reasons. When he leaves, if you keep him and he leaves, that just opens up a ton of cap space, which is a good thing to have, a really good thing.
Yeah, and obviously you're not just going to bring in 40. You don't want to bring in $49 million because I don't even think you can, because you don't want to be in the financial kind of strain that you're in right now. But when a lot of people say, what does it matter about cap space? The Kings can't get anybody to Sacramento. I think that is specifically one of the reasons why Vivek Ranadive and the ownership group and the powers that be wanted to bring in a guy like Scott Perry, because he does have a lot of connections. He does know a lot of agents. He's been around for a long time. So before you assume that cap space doesn't matter, and having cap space, as we had Keith Smith on, that helps as well to garner draft assets if a team is trying to dump a certain player. We've seen the Brooklyn Nets do this a couple of different times. So having cap space is good. It's not just, oh, well, we're a small market team and our cap space doesn't matter because nobody's going to come here. It's a lot more nuanced than that. You can use the cap space to acquire maybe a bad contract, but also draft compensation with that bad contract. And on top of that, you have a guy in Scott Perry who a lot of people like, a lot of people know, a lot of people enjoy working with. So you give somebody like that cap space, it's a little bit different than some of maybe these other GMs and front office execs that have had that ability in the past.
Speaking of cap space and financial concerns, if I may, last night, Jay and I, we had to split up because there was such an outcry over the team dinner gate or whatever the naysayers are calling it. We decided, look, let's just make things easier on everybody, and our team had to split up. So I hope you're happy.
Right. Yeah,
all you
Verlon,
all you haters.
Yeah, I hope you're happy.
So Jay and I went to a place called Yardbirds, and it was delicious, fried chicken, waffles I had, but I don't know that we were UPD.
I'm well.
I don't know that I was under per
Oh,
diem.
yeah,
and
yeah,
Jay and
yeah.
I may have actually gotten into the
Really?
certainly into the first apron, maybe approaching the second apron. It was worth it, but
Sure.
no more UPD.
Wow.
Not
Look,
yesterday, anyway.
I'm stacking up right now. I've been under the last 2 nights.
That's good.
Thursday, Friday, your boy's eating good. Thursday, Friday.
Good in the neighborhood.
Hey, send me, this is the oldest steakhouse. Send me A Styles, Styles Files on social. Send me your Vegas spots that I need to go to. Alan, this is the oldest steakhouse in Vegas because I'm stacking up the cash flow, and I am going to use it. These ain't rolling. They're rolling over, but, they will be used before I get on that flight.
That would be nice if someone did that, but I have a feeling you don't really need help with that. You have a knack for finding
That's true.
that type of place.
That's also true, but I want our listeners
Maybe you're
involved
the
as well.
reincarnation of a form of mobster or something.
Yeah,
I
I
just
just
down in an uncanny way.
Oh yeah, well it's just nice to see people and to talk to people, and sometimes you need a cannoli, and then you eat the cannoli, and then
That's
you
my
can find
fault.
the best
I opened
cannoli.
that door. Yeah, I opened that door.
Somebody on the text line said, "Hey, Alan, will Whitey go to the Mob Museum with you?" I don't know. I'd love him to.
Yeah,
we need to go.
If you will go with me to Madame Tussauds Wax Museum at the Venetian, and if you and I can get on the little boat. Okay,
we'll
there's
talk
your
about
answer.
it. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
There's
we'll talk
your
about
answer.
It. We'll talk about it.
Yeah,
we
I wasn't
only
invited to the Mob Museum, so I guess I'm not going.
No, not this again. There's no invite. There was no invite.
Oh,
this is the invite.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Somebody just said on the text line,
Sign me up,
that they have a speakeasy that we need to go. So we're going. Thank you to that texter. That was yesterday, by the way.
Right.
No more of this no invite stuff.
Tremendous. It's funny what happens when you're in the media, and it's funny what happens when the media criticizes you. Alan knows all about that.
Mm-hmm.
So does Kevin Durant. And last night, Kevin Durant, as you may know, shared something on Instagram, and it was something that was asking fans to pick one well-known NBA analyst who has to go. Which of these 9 has to go?
Mm-hmm.
Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp, Skip Bayless, Nick Wright, Colin Cowherd, Max Kellerman, Kendrick Perkins. And Durant shared that, and he also tagged Colin Cowherd and wrote, "Pack that lame Colin Cowherd up." He also said basketball would actually move forward if Nick Wright wasn't involved. Hold up. So that's Kevin Durant. I don't know, Alan. Maybe we should come up with something like this, but it is only including, Sacramento media members.
Wow. That is going to be a negative. That is going to be an absolute negative.
Mm-hmm. What do we have here? We have an update from
Tom Warden is saying to spend the per diem at the driving range.
Aha!
I gotta take a picture of the receipt, Tom. I can't do that. These are very tight. That's right. The tight rules.
Yeah.
Very tight rules.
Jay, I was just talking about how you and I last night, I don't think we were UPD. Might have gotten into Yeah. Jay was working some things.
Wow.
He was signing some guys to some minimum contracts.
Wow.
Got some 2 ways
Some
going.
10 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had to put my dish actually came with watermelon. I had to put that on the G League roster.
Oh, yeah.
Just to
That's
make
in
it all
Stockton.
pencil
You
out.
eat it
for
in
me.
Stockton.
Yes. Yeah.
Man. You might need to plant some trees.
Maybe.
You might need to do something like that.
Maybe
to get it done.
Maybe that's a project we can, really embrace going forward. It sounds like maybe I caught you off guard by that.
Yeah, I'm not going to be me. Like I said, I'm staying out of trouble. Now, but it would be funny. You know what? I think Sacramento Kings fans could do it. Sacramento Kings fans should do it. I would encourage them to do it.
Really?
I don't know where I would end up. I know some people would say get that dude up out of here, but I think that would be fun.
Would you be more offended if you weren't on the list, or if you were on the list and everyone said that's the guy you got to get rid of?
Dad.
Which
I'd be more offended if I wasn't on the list.
Yes, that would be my guess.
Yeah. I don't, because you want to get somebody out of there. That
Right.
means that you're listening to them.
Mhm.
If KD never paid attention to Colin Cowherd, he would
There
not
you
be
go.
saying that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. KD either he doesn't realize it, or more likely just doesn't care. But anytime KD or any player goes after a media member, that media member for them, it's a huge victory.
Yeah.
Even if it's like, that person is the worst ever. Thank you. You're doing them such a favor.
Because now what is Colin Cowherd going to talk about on his show tomorrow?
Uh-huh.
Hey, KD wanted me out of here.
Well, then I guess what you have to say matters.
That's right. And Stephen A. Smith, somebody's going to put him on the list. And whenever it does, you don't want to make an enemy out of me.
Draymond went after him, right?
I saw that.
Yeah.
That back and forth. Honestly, I can't keep up. It's like a reality TV show at this point. I honestly can't keep up. We're running around out here in Vegas, so I'm not really up on what the Stephen A.
You don't have the
Draymond,
internet or something? You need the internet password?
I mean, I see you scroll enough a couple times a day, you're going to see Draymond in front of a mic. You scroll enough a couple times a day, you're going to see Stephen A. in front of a mic. So I don't know. I'll catch the next beef in a week.
Yeah.
I missed this one. It's too late now.
Yeah.
Do you know what's going on?
I just know, again, that Draymond is doing Stephen A. a great service.
Yeah.
A great favor by saying whatever you say about him.
It's a fact.
Uh-huh.
It is a fact. And I mean, the landscape now and how players have, I guess, crossed over into the realm of media, there are no rules. Agents, Rich Paul, obviously Draymond. So you say something about someone. I think it's fascinating that it's been however long since this player podcast thing has gotten going. And I think it's fascinating that the Kings have basically been able to avoid that a little bit. You don't have any players that currently have a podcast on the Kings, and you really don't see them on different podcasts a lot of times either. Now, I know the Bean Boys did a couple. They did a tour, and DeMar, who's no longer a King, DeMar would do podcasts and wouldn't talk about the Kings at all because he's been around and done so much. He would, just talk about his career in general. So I think it's fascinating. And at some point, there will be a King with a player podcast. And I'll take that content too. But it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, that can't happen. I don't think. Obviously, anybody can do it.
I know
but
what you're
it
gonna
doesn't
say.
really gain any traction until the Kings are relevant. And that anybody being on the Kings, that it matters. He's on the Kings. That, and that's just the perception of the Kings. And it, again, is incumbent upon the Kings to change that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean,
How about this podcast by so-so? He's on the Kings, man.
Right. Well, Kings fans would listen, but
Sure.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But
what do you think of this? LeBron, according to Mark Stein, I'm sure you've seen this, although it sounds like you're having issues with the internet here. Have you
No,
talked
I'm
to
not.
Frankie?
I'm just busy.
Frankie's pretty much running the show
I'm just
here.
busy. I've been on my phone probably the least I've been on my phone in years out here.
LeBron James' first scheduled appearance at Fanatics Fest on Thursday in New York is a Mind the Game pod recording in front of a live audience alongside Tyrese Halliburton sitting in for Steve Nash at, I guess it'd be about 10:15 our time. So maybe LeBron will make his announcement then.
No. He wants everyone to think that. I don't know what his plan is, but that seems too obvious, right?
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. And a lot of us, we were talking about it today here at the Sack Shack. Oh, what's going to happen? Should we need to listen to that? So, yeah, he's a master at this.
Let me ask you a question.
Please.
Going back to the podcast thing.
Yeah.
So LeBron is sitting down with former King Tyrese Halliburton.
Right, who is sitting in for Steve Nash.
Yes. Now, Tyrese Halliburton, we know he's got one of those personalities. He's very outgoing. And
I don't like where you're going here.
Well,
but I think it's fair.
You don't know where I'm going. You might know where I'm going. And even though he plays for Indiana, another small market, I know they went to the finals a couple years ago, and he kind of turned that culture around. I know Rick Carlisle and the crew, it was a whole plan. I understand all that. But I do wonder if Kings fans are maybe starving a little bit for that type of star, right? Because we've talked about De'Aaron Fox. He was a bit aloof at times. Darius
And it seemed
Acuff,
like initially, pardon me, but to that point, initially it seemed like, ooh, he loves it here. He
Right.
plays piano. Ooh, we've got a guy who will embrace being the face of the franchise.
Yeah.
And it didn't quite work out that way fully.
well, I don't know that he didn't embrace it. He's just not terribly outgoing, and he just wants to, chill. Really, he doesn't want to do all the
Yeah.
extra curriculars. You see Steph right now They were up there in Tahoe. Obviously, Paul George got roasted for his podcast when those teams were losing.
Steph Curry would show up at a gas station opening if there's a camera there. You know,
what does that mean?
That means he likes being out there in front of everybody.
Yes.
He can sell some of his wife's cookbooks or whatever.
Well, so what?
Yeah, I know he does a lot of charity
People
stuff.
like
I'm
to hear
sorry,
from
I
Steph.
didn't know that the Warrior fan in you was going to take umbrage at that.
Well, what about LeBron? They all do it. KD. That's where I'm going, though, right? And where I can take this before you trying to get me in trouble with this Warrior stuff is AJ DeBonsa does seem to have that. Caleb Wilson, some of the quotes that he has said seems to have that. I don't know about the Keatons and the Michaels and the A-Cuffs, but in A-Cuff, it does seem like you might not have the issue as far as now when you get more comfortable in media, that's great, right? And he will. But doesn't feel like you'll have the same issue of aloofness and I don't care-ness, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you still won't have, it doesn't feel like we will have that kind of outgoing star that is in front of, even though you're making it sound like a negative, that is in front of the media. Now, Dylan Cardwell has that personality. I
definitely does.
Maxime Reynaud has that personality. But
Yes.
A-Cup does seem, again, like another cool character. And you know what, Whitey? That ties back into the 9-1 Knicks because Brunson does have a podcast with Josh Hart, but I would imagine it's a lot of Josh Hart. And from the clips I've seen, Brunson, he's tough because I don't know that I would call him outgoing, but that podcast, he just kind of chills a little bit. So maybe there's a world where you have a star that isn't fully outgoing, but is in the public eye a little bit. Because I do think, to tie a bow on this, I do think Sacramento needs something like that.
That'd be nice.
And I think that's part of the reason the Tyrese Halliburton thing does sting, because he would have changed the culture and how people view Sacramento the same way he's done for Indiana.
The member of this incoming draft class who is going to be the biggest media star, assuming he chooses to be, and I think we've already seen indications that he is choosing to be. He's already been in at least one national commercial.
Mm-hmm.
It's Cam Boozer. He's
Yeah.
already been with his brother in that, is it Allstate commercial?
Yeah.
You call dad.
And
No,
Jake-
you call dad.
Yeah, and
No,
it's
you call dad.
raining.
No, you call dad. I'll call your dad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right on that. And
He's very comfortable on camera.
but I think that's a good point because he doesn't necessarily strike me as traditionally outgoing, but he is comfortable on camera.
Yeah, and also playing in that smaller market team, even though a lot of people say, watch out for the Grizz this year.
That's
They may-
you.
They may surprise
Not
some teams.
Vegas,
I
but
mean, that
that's
will
you.
work against him as well.
Yeah.
DeBonsa strikes me as a guy who can do it, but I don't know. It's just my guess. He seems really more focused on, I'll do this as long as it doesn't distract me from the more important work that I have to do.
No, well, I'm not disagreeing with you, but it does feel he's done a ton of podcasts. He's been in the media a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think he does have an outgoing personality. That meme of him, it was going around every time the Kings would lose a game or any team would lose a game. This is going to be my star, and he's rapping a song. So, yeah, I think that he does have that it factor from a public perspective. This has nothing to do with basketball. I'm not talking about basketball. Alan, what are you talking about? Nothing to do with
what are you talking
basketball.
about?
This is just from a star perspective.
I'm just glad you stopped doing your gangster voice.
Which
I'm
one
just
is that?
thrilled with that. No. Never mind.
Yeah. I need a cannoli, and then I get a cannoli.
You need a
A
cannoli.
calzone.
Yeah, again, that's on me.
But that's when we're at the Mob Museum.
Yeah, right.
And when you walk into the Mob Museum, you don't say a word.
Yeah, sometimes you don't walk out.
Normally, I don't let people like you into the Mob Museum, but today is your lucky day.
That's a reference to a member of our crew who last night was trying to get in a place, and they said, normally I don't let this in, but they did. Right? It is.
They did.
It is. That
Yes,
really happened.
that did happen.
A big part of being one of those big media stars is your shoe deal, your shoe contract. When we come back, Nick DePaula, the shoe guy, joins us, and we'll get the latest from him on Darius Acuff's upcoming shoes. That's all coming up here from Vegas Drive, guys, on Sactown Sports.
Like and subscribe to the Sactown Sports 1140 YouTube channel at Sactown Sports 1140 to get the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Matt and Kayla, and the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles on demand and at your fingertips. Get your fix of the Sacramento Kings, 49ers, Giants, Athletics, NFL, NBA, and the latest in sports and entertainment all in one place at Sactown Sports 1140 on YouTube. Your local sports leader, Sactown Sports 1140.
This Green and Gold Injury Report update is brought to you by the law firm of Injury, Hammer, and Associates. If you've got an injury, just call Gingery. Nick Kurtz was placed on the 10-day injured list with a right thumb capsule sprain. Zach Geloff went to the 10-day injured list as well after exiting last Thursday's game in Detroit with a right knee injury. Brett Rooker is set to have his left knee surgery to repair torn cartilage this week. Rooker will be sidelined for the remainder of the 2026 season.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is, what makes us different from other law firms?
At Gingery, Hammer, and Associates, we handle your case from beginning to the end.
Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether it must go into litigation, or whether it has to go all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve.
When you get an injury, just call Gingery.
At Power Business Technology, we're not another big box corporation. We're your neighbors, locally owned and operated. We know what businesses like yours need, from reliable printers to high-performance copiers. We'll help you find the right solution with personal service you just can't get online. Need setup or support? We're just down the road and always happy to help. Power Business Technology, family hometown service with big-time solutions. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Country in the Park 2, presented by your California Army National Guard, October 23rd at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Russell Dickerson, plus more. Enjoy line dancing, live DJs, mechanical bull, and food trucks. Tickets start at just $70. Country in the Park 2, October 23rd at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra, the California Office of Traffic Safety, and Caltrans. More info at CITPFest.com.
And we're live from the living room as Doug eyes up the match day spread. He's reaching for the Buffalo wing. Perfect. Hang on, what's this? Oh, he's gone for a can of Pepsi too! Incredible! What a finish! Sensational combination! Look at the delight on his face. There's no doubt about it. It just tastes better. Match days deserve Pepsi. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a pack of Pepsi Zero Sugar for today's match. It's poetry in motion.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-822-1490. That's 800-822-1490. 800-822-1490.
It's time for your Sactown Soccer Report. Powered by Sac Yolo Mosquito and Vector Control District.
This week's key matches include France versus Spain at Dallas Stadium and Argentina versus England in Atlanta.
In soccer, defense wins championships. At home, defense stops mosquitoes. Train standing water. That's your backline. Dress with sleeves and defend with repellent. That's your keeper. Keep your doors and screens tight. That's your shutout. Sac Yolo Mosquito and Vector Control District. More tips at fightthebite.net. Live from Las Vegas for NBA Summer League, presented by Power Business Technology. Here's Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles.
And we've asked Jay to join us here from the Sac Shack. Jay's excited about our next guest. Before we get to our next guest, Jay, thank you again for finding Yardbirds last night. Delicious, delicious dinner. Highlight meal of the trip so far for me.
I appreciate it, brother. That when you're talking about that Yardbird, that thing makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
How was your dinner last night, Alan?
Good.
Okay.
Good. More classic.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could have been with you guys, but once you get a taste for something, I wanted to continue on with the plan. But I did, and Jay's reading off all the different menu items.
Yes.
And, okay, all right, I get it. But
yeah.
I wish I was there.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Well, it's a big event here, Summer League for the shoe industry, the athletic shoe industry. Nice enough to join us. He probably doesn't hear this much. He's Mr. Shoe. He's Mr. Athletic Shoe, covering the NBA and the footwear industry. Nick DePaula joining us. Nick, how are you today?
I'm great. What's up, guys? I was out in Vegas over the weekend, too, and now back up in Portland.
Well, we appreciate your time. I got to ask you first thing here. What's up with Nike's new, is it a 3D printed shoe that they unveiled today?
Yeah, they're getting really into 3D printed. We've seen Adidas do it as well for the last probably decade, but now I think originally the technology was so new, it was exciting, the design they were doing, and now it's actually something you actually want to wear. So we're seeing a lot of people get into it, and Adidas even has a 3D basketball shoe that Cal Brown on the Nets is playing in Summer League. So it's pretty cool to see. They are $250, so a little up there, but definitely something brands are getting after.
Nick, how early, we saw something about Acuff. Obviously, we're going to talk about Acuff and his Reebok deal, but how early with NIL and all the changing landscapes, how early are some of these players going to start getting these shoe deals? Are we talking about high schoolers? Is that already happening? Middle school? Back in my day, I wore my Iversons, Nick, the ones that zipped up. That's all I had, Nick. And the and ones for practice, that's all I had. Nowadays, seems like these 8th graders, they could be getting shoe deals. How early could this stuff start happening?
It's a totally new landscape, no doubt. Since 2021, it was really sort of a wait and see, and some guys were signing while in college or as they headed to college. I would say this class in particular actually is the first that kind of broke that mold. So Darren Peterson signed with Adidas as a junior. He was 16. AJ DeBanza signed with Nike, his senior year of high school. And then Nate Ament on the Bucks, he signed with Reebok his senior year of high school. So those guys were all super early. Darius Acuff actually signed with Reebok, I believe, May of 25, right as he was leaving high school. He had just won MVP at the Iverson Classic high school all-star game. So obviously that's all pretty crazy to, us that are older, but that is the new wave. And of course the brands are trying to identify the next players that they could build with. But I think the cool part we're seeing is now they're actually building shoes early for their rookie season because they've already been under contract for a couple of years in their case. So we're seeing a lot of debuts at Summer League, which was never really the case in years past too.
Nick, I'm not going to steal my boy Alan's thunder, as I know he's going to ask about Acuff and his new deal here coming up soon. But you talked about all the guys who are having all these different brands that are connecting. Puma has kind of made a comeback. Of course, it started with Marvin Bagley, who was here in Sacramento, DeMarcus Cousins, DMC, it has expanded to Ball and other guys, LeBron, all these different guys jumping on. Speak to how Puma's kind of made a comeback here in the basketball situation.
It's pretty crazy. Puma was out of the game for basically 20 years. They signed Vince Carter in '98, and they didn't sign anybody again until that class of 2018, like you said, with DeMarcus and Bagley and DeAndre Ayton. They didn't really have a signature shoe guy the first couple years, but then they landed LaMelo in 2020, who has just been huge for them. So he's now on his 5th shoe. He's obviously switching to Minnesota, but that's been hugely successful for them. That's been something that has really taken the brand to, in some cases, 3rd place behind Nike and Adidas in the basketball space. And it was cool because to anybody that's older, they knew the Clyde and they maybe knew Vince Carter was with Puma for a second, but they kind of looked at it like, none of these young kids know who we are. Let's just reimagine the brand through the young players. And if you go to any 8th grade game, any middle school gym, sometimes half the kids are wearing LaMelos. So they've done a great job of probably being the loudest shoe on the court in terms of the colors and the graphics. That's definitely part of it. There's a lot of people that Puma people think is not for them. That's fine too. But it's something that, it definitely stands out. And then they got LeBaron Filan, like you said, who's on Philly, who probably slipped a bit in the draft and is a better player than his pick would say. So they're super excited about him, and they've got a lot of cool guards coming up.
Nick DePaula joining us, covering the NBA and the footwear industry. Nick, you mentioned that you were just here in Vegas. How important is Summer League for those in the basketball shoe industry?
It's huge because the players are all debuting stuff. The brands are hosting events the first few nights. But there's also a ton of meetings happening behind the scenes. So rookies that don't have deals, they're talking to brands, they're talking to agents, or talking with their agents to all the companies. And then the October 1st window is when all the veteran deals come up. So obviously, I would say most famously, a couple years ago, De'Aaron Fox was with the Kings. He switched from Nike to Curry brand. Now is kind of the window that the brands are looking ahead to the fall and having some of those early conversations of who they're going to target. So for my world, it's fun because I get to watch a lot of hoops and then talk to everybody about where their head is at coming into the fall. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I believe it happened and March Madness was either still going on or it was really close to that time period when we found out about Acuff and he's standing next to Iverson and it's kind of the reemergence of Reebok and that deal. Nick, can you talk to us a little bit about what Acuff has going on with Reebok? And I don't know that I have seen a release date for the shoe yet. Well, I'm trying to get my personal pair,
that boy.
But because he is here in Sacramento. But for those that may not be able to get a pair the way I'm going to get it, what do you know about the Acuff Reebok deal?
It's a really interesting timeline. So they did sign him originally May of 25 after he won MVP at that Iverson Classic. And then basically after Darius' season at Arkansas, before the tournament started, Reebok just tore the contract up and gave him a signature shoe. They wanted to bet everything on him. They felt like he was which he is obviously, exciting player that was both scoring and distributing. And then, just his story. I think the natural connection to Iverson is there. AI is now the vice president of Reebok basketball. Shaq is actually the president. So those two guys are like huge, votes within the building, and they have a lot of say on what they want to do and who they want to sign. So it was one of those things where they probably for a week only debated it internally, and then they said, let's go for it. So as some of you guys might know, like the shoe process sometimes takes a while. So I would expect his rookie year signature shoe to maybe be at the All-Star weekend around the rookie game. I don't know, it'll be game one. Then again, when they signed AI out of Georgetown, and that was exactly 30 years ago, they had the question ready for game one. So I'm sure they're hustling. I saw some of them over the weekend, and they were super excited about Darius, just playing how he's been scoring at will and just, what he's going to build with the Kings. But they're going to go all in on him. They've got a handful of other players within Reebok, but for right now, I would say Darius is the face of their NBA push. And obviously Angel Reese is the face of the WNBA push, and they've kind of got those two players as their signature players going forward.
Joined by Nick DePaula, who I call the Moses of the footwear game. Yeah, man, you like Moses, the gatekeeper, bro. You're serious, man. I'm a huge shoe guy. I've been one. I grew up in the golden era of the shoes, man. So I got about 16 questions, but I keep it super short. And one and one, Jose Alvarado, and blanking on the other guy who's the face of and one. But are they looking to make a comeback? Are they just kind of playing around a little bit to see what's going on? Is there something that, we might be able – it's Bobby Portis, right, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, Bobby Portis. Are they looking to try to jump back? Are they hopscotching to get back into the footwear game?
They are, but as you can imagine, some of these endorsement deals get to be pretty rich. And so and one being kind of a smaller brand at this point, they're probably being a little more selective than they'd want to, but they're really trying to get guys who have – either an underdog story, which is definitely in both, Bobby and Jose's case. And then in Jose's case, he's just got such a great connection being a New York guy, being a guy that played outside in New York and obviously the run the Knicks were on. It really made perfect sense. And so they're going to partner with both those guys. They're bringing back the mixtape throughout the summer in different spots. They're going to do a lot of community, just blacktop, basketball camps and skills clinics for players. In their hometowns and in their current towns. Obviously, Bobby got traded to Miami, so that'll be something they can do in Miami for Bobby. But I think it's going to be super exciting. And one's a brand I always loved growing up. It's definitely early 2000s.
The Tai Chi, Nick.
Yeah, iconic shoe. We did a Tai Chi for the I got him over here, for Slam's 30th anniversary. We did a Tai Chi.
Oh, man, come on,
shoe
man.
has a safe, a classic spot in my heart. But, for nowadays, I think it's something kids don't necessarily know, and it's fun to bring it back up through players like Jose and guys that maybe have an underdog story.
Nick DePaul,
the other thing I'll point out.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, too, the cool thing N1's doing that is unique, and we were talking about NIL, is they're partnering with a ton of HBCUs. They just announced last week they're going to do an NIL program for all the HBCU players and, building them into some of the deals and some of the things that they could get, give back, things like that. And not so much pure money, but also workshops and learning the business and, trying to build a bridge for some of these kids to look into basketball careers after their college days. So to me, that was really cool because it's they don't have the budget of a Nike, but what can they do that's a little unique and something that can really still leave an impact?
Nick, I've officially hijacked the interview. So thank you to my, it's official. I said, man, I could talk to you for an hour. We need to just really convene one day. Your favorite shoe or favorites shoe? Give me one or two. Doesn't have to be the Jordan. Doesn't have to be, the Irish, the question, the answer. What's your favorite?
I know we're on the radio, so the show and tell probably doesn't work too great, but I do have them on my desk right here. It is the Purple Hyperflight, the J. Will shoe.
J. Will. They just remade them, just retroed them.
This is the retro. I actually was part of that process on the working with Nike on some of that, so that was pretty fun. I went to McClatchy in Sacramento, so I had the red pair back in the day. Everybody called me.
He's a lion.
Yes,
sir.
Different era.
Yes, sir. I'm a Titan, man. I'm a Burbank Titan.
There you go. Yeah. So we've got some fun stuff with Slam and J. Will and the Hyperflight coming into the future, actually, that you guys will hear more about soon. But to me, that was probably one of the first iconic shoes for Sacramento. And then Chris Webber and De'Aaron Fox were the only other two guys with the signature shoe. And then we'll look ahead to the next year as Darius Aikoff is the next. So it's pretty exciting.
Nick, we appreciate your time. Let's talk again really soon. Thanks. And I know you're not here, but I hope you enjoy the rest of Summer League. We appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, fellas.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Jay. When we come back, we'll look, Alan, at the different archetypes of Summer League overreactors, and we'll see which one fits you the best. Drive Guys from Vegas. Sactown Sports. Be right back.
Like and subscribe to the Sactown Sports 1140 YouTube channel at Sactown Sports 1140 to get the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Matt and Kayla, and the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles on demand and at your fingertips. Get your fix of the Sacramento Kings, 49ers, Giants, Athletics, NFL, NBA, and the latest in sports and entertainment all in one place at Sactown Sports 1140 on YouTube. Your local sports leader, Sactown Sports 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Dirk Verdorn in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Another clear night tonight. It should be a little bit cooler with temperatures eventually dropping off into the mid to low 60s by Thursday morning, and then daytime highs ranging in the mid to upper 90s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
Oh, the Sacramento heat. Right now, get your AC professionally tuned up for as low as just $59 and enjoy your summer nice and cool. Plumbing, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com. Summer restrictions apply. License 696-355.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
On BritBox, there is a place where stories twist like cobblestone roads, grand manners hide secrets, and stakes are higher than seaside cliffs. Find places worth getting lost in on BritBox. Watch new series like The Other Bennett Sister from the world of Jane Austen and A Woman of Substance starring Golden Globe winner Brenda Blethyn. If you want to get away, you're in the right place. Stream the best of British TV on BritBox. Free trial at BritBox.com.
Hey, what's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. I've heard you're extending the 4th of July sales event because the deals were just so good.
They were the best deals of the year, and we wanted to keep the savings going. Right now, you can save up to $17,000 off MSRP on new 2026 Ram 1500 crew cabs.
America loves Ram trucks, but what about my perfect truck?
We have you covered at Hoblet. We are truck people, so you won't find a better selection of new Rams with the features that matter anywhere. Plus, with almost 600 new Rams available, your Ram is waiting at Hoblet. Just one of the reasons Hoblet is consistently one of the top Ram dealers, not just in California, but the entire nation.
Search, select, and save through our whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period. $17,000 total net savings after $41.62 dealer discount and $11,338 factory incentive. Incentives may include 15% below MSRP incentive, $1,000 Hoblet trade-in assistance with eligible trade, and $500 military bonus or first responder bonus for eligible members. 10th is net savings, sample VIN 390660. See dealer for details.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter-churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. What's up? It's Matt George. What's good? It's Alan Stiles.
With the most trusted voices in the community.
This is Jason Ross.
Hey, it's Kayla Anderson.
It's Whitey Gleason.
Ready to help promote your business, both as partners and customers. All you have to do is ask. Pick up the phone, dial pound 250 and say, grow my business to get connected with a team member today. That's pound 250 and say, grow my business. Our team will review your product, quickly pair you with a perfect endorser, and create video and audio samples all at no cost or obligation to you. With the most live and local on-air lineup, a dynamic content-driven website, and a state-of-the-art mobile app, Sactown Sports 1140 is tailor-made to help you connect with a sports audience in Sacramento. So why wait? Dial pound 250 today. Say, grow my business, and let us help take you to the next level. Live from Las Vegas for NBA Summer League, presented by Power Business Technology. Here's Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Thank you for being with us. Coming to you, from Vegas. Brett Siegel's coming up top of the hour. Thanks to Nick DePaul, Sacramento's own, for joining us. Alan Stiles just showed me a video of somebody golfing and a bear came and
a bear came.
I want to hear Frank LaRosa's golf to go on that.
Or Tom Morton.
Tom Morton was on today, yeah. If a bear approaches, what Frank got for that?
I mean, the dude was taking a video 5 feet away from the bear. I don't know if he left the sandwich in the bag, but that bear That bear got after it.
Mm-hmm.
That bear definitely got after it.
Mm-hmm. If you're going to chase a bear, the proper club is a 9-iron. I'm Frank LaRosa. Yeah.
And the other thing, they took the whole bag. That's expensive. You need new clubs.
And it looked like he was looking through it.
Yeah.
Like,
I need a 56.
Yeah, exactly.
my sand wedge. I need a new sand wedge.
Yeah. See if I can find one in here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts.
Mm-hmm. Alan, what do you think? The archetypes of the Summer League over reactors.
Okay.
I think one, of course, is the classic fill in the blank. Whoever it is terrible and everything's awful and the team is always going to be terrible. And why did I ever allow myself to think anything would be different?
So these are Kings specific?
I think probably
Yeah.
every team has their version of these. Let's face it, the Kings have had more than their fair share of troubles in recent years, so I think we have more of them here than maybe we would have, in Boston or somewhere.
Yes. Yeah. I'm with you on that one. And we saw the Doomsdayers out and about yesterday and beyond.
Some of it's a defense mechanism, right?
Yes.
You just want to express those fears.
Exactly. You don't want to get too excited about something. And I don't, honestly, you haven't really had that problem. That's not an issue.
Right.
The only person would be, Emmanuel Sharp is definitely going to get minutes, and he probably will. So I don't even know. They haven't played well enough to have any positive overreactions.
Yeah, I find myself, and this is me, this is a character flaw, perhaps. I find myself irritated by the people that I would consider Summer League overreactors who see teams, they barely practice and they're all running like simple stuff like, well, I really like the action there. That this really, like this, this is going to set up well for them in their offense in training camp because I don't think there's a lot of things that teams are running right now that they're necessarily going to be running in training camp.
Well, especially when you have a team like the Kings, like we said, there's a whole starting lineup that just didn't play last season. The whole starting lineup, literally 4 or 5 dudes. So
you mean of Summer League?
No. Well, I'm saying when they get back, whatever they're going to run, or I want to see this or that, they're going to get back to Sacramento, and there's 5 guys.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
that did not play last season, or for majority of last season, that will be playing this season. So that's why it's tough for Kings fans right now because you're watching something, but it's not as if you're going to see it in the near future. You'll see pieces of it, but not the whole thing.
I think at the other end of the spectrum, maybe this is more just being in denial than overreacting, but I think the people that look at Summer League and say, nothing matters, everything's great. There's some of that we've seen. How could you say anything critical about Darius Acuff? It's Summer League.
Right, guys, it's Summer League. There's not, don't worry about it either way.
Right.
Right, okay, well, all right. That's not really an opinion.
Yeah, you see things like yesterday, it might not be bad, but it's not good. You can't pretend it didn't happen, in my opinion.
Yeah, last season was different. You had a late first rounder, a second rounder, and an undrafted guy. So win, lose, or draw, you didn't feel like the future in a large scale was on the court.
Yeah.
This season is different. There is a very important so what I'm saying is last Summer League, you might have gotten away with that a little bit. This Summer League is it's important because the guy playing is going to be important to your team.
Yeah, I'm with you. Last year we watched Summer League and we knew that Kings were building for the future, but we knew whoever the guy's going to be is not there yet. But this year, hopefully, the guy is actually there.
Hopefully.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully. Then the season prior, Devin Carter wasn't in there.
This is going to sound like I'm making fun of. I'm not. Every so often I'm watching Summer League and my brain says, there's Devin Carter. Like, no, he's not there. I feel like I see him.
He's just there.
Yeah, I'm just used to seeing him in those situations.
Yeah,
I'm like, is that? No, of course it's not. He's not there anymore.
Maybe that was the missing piece. Why they're straight. He is here.
I know.
Or at
you
least
said
he
you
was.
saw him.
He was here. I don't know if he's still here, but no, he has graduated. What happens when you don't fully graduate from Summer League? And I don't. I'm assuming he didn't play, but you don't really graduate from Summer League. You just stop playing.
That's like not graduating from summer school, right? I got to go to summer school, and you do, and they say, yeah, that wasn't good enough.
Wouldn't you argue that there is those players, right, that you talk about, the elders? I know we always talk about John Elmore, but it's if
your guy with the Lakers.
You get drafted, you play Summer League, and then you stop. But then if things don't work out,
get on a boat overseas.
that, or if things don't work out, you find yourself kind of circulating back around, and you could end up back in Summer League. But there's two versions of Summer Leaguers.
The guy that hijacked the last interview now is like, you got a break.
I know.
We were trying to break the last one. He's like, no, I got more questions. Now he's like, you guys got a break.
He was tapping us. Hey, give me one more. I'm like, I heard you tell
Brett Siegel, an insider. Alan Styles source. I mean, where did that all start? We're back with Brett Siegel next from Vegas on Sactown Sports.
Even among the most heated rivals, nothing brings people together quite like a little bit of turbulence.
When someone says, hey, there's an issue with the equipment, I don't feel particularly comfortable. And when they said equipment, I'm sitting on the aisle, and Frankie and I just slowly turn and look at each other, and we almost held hands to say, hey, you know what? Whatever will be, will be.
Your local sports leader, Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
A good place to buy a new truck would be a place known as Truck Country. Folsom Chevy is Truck Country, and now it makes even more sense. Folsom Chevy is offering 0% financing for 5 years, no payments for 90 days on all new Silverado half-ton trucks in stock, and there's a lifetime warranty. Go to Folsom Chevy at the Folsom Auto Mall, or go to folsomchevy.com. From the mountains to the levee, think Folsom Chevy. Together, let's drive. Must finance with GM on approved credit. $16.67 per 1,000 finance. Cannot be combined with other offers. Ends July 31st, 2026.
Skeeter here, my card. Field Tech, Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District. I never met a Culex terrasalis I didn't want to smack. That's Latin for mosquito. Hey, it's time again to fight the bite. Time to protect yourself from West Nile virus by applying insect repellent. Once a week, drain stagnant water and report dirty green swimming pools. Ew. They're breeding grounds.
The Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District reminds you it's time to fight the bite.
My card never gets old.
For more information or to report problems, go to fightthebite.net.
Join RVs of Sacramento as they celebrate America's landmark semi-quincentennial by honoring the true protectors of our freedom, the local first responders, firefighters, law enforcement, medical heroes, and military. You look after our country and communities. To say thank you, check out our massive America 250 celebration and sale all month long. Enjoy exclusive hometown hero discounts alongside spectacular anniversary savings for everyone. Over 400 units to choose from, motorhomes, travel trailers, and fifth wheels from the top manufacturers in the industry. Bring the family, see the latest floor plans, and let's celebrate 250 years of freedom. Visit us online at rvsofsac.com and explore RVs in Northern California's largest indoor showroom at RVs of Sacramento, 9501 East Stockton Boulevard, Elk Grove, right off Highway 99 across from the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or at our newly opened Forest River Direct Outlet store at 1051 El Camino Avenue in Sacramento. Family owned and operated, on site all the time. Your experience is our number one priority. Adventure is calling. Answer the call at RVs of Sacramento.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports 1140, your local sports leader. Live from Las Vegas for NBA Summer League, presented by Power Business Technology. Here's Whitey Gleason and Alan Styles.
One of the best things for me personally about Summer League has been the fact that Alan has been nice enough to introduce me to some of his, Summer League regulars, including our next guest, who I think was one of the first people we ran into when we got to the arena.
Right. He was down on the media tables courtside, and the Kings were obviously playing, so we went to say what's up to some of the Sacramento people down there. Then when we were getting ready to walk down, I saw Brett was already there with his Clutch Points crew, so we immediately got to say what's up to him. National reporter for Clutch Points. My guy, Brett Siegel, joins us. Brett, I hope you are staying cool because we're trying to do the same thing, my guy.
It's been a great time out here in Summer League, getting ready to wrap things up, head out tomorrow. But it's been a great week of action. This draft class is fantastic, and obviously the Kings have a really good player that they have a lot of hope in and a lot of hope for heading into his rookie year, and he's excited. I got to talk with Darius Acuff one-on-one yesterday, and we're going to have a story coming out on that to Clutch Points. But a really good kid, really good mind on his shoulders, and I think that he's exactly what the Kings need.
Brett, it was great to meet you, and we look forward to that piece. Without spilling too many beans here, could you speak to how he's feeling about his game? Because we've heard this week that he's been a little down on himself in the way that he's played.
He has, and we spoke about that a little bit. And that's just kind of every rookie that enters Summer League. They expect the best of the best from themselves, and they're kicking themselves when something goes wrong. Obviously, Darius has a lot of pressure on him, kind of ushering in this new era of the Sacramento Kings and already being called the new face of this franchise as they head into a new era. And we've seen that in Summer League. I mean, the guy, I think, looking back on the California Classic, he's averaging like 20 shot attempts per game, and he has the ball in his hands 24/7. So you're going to see some of those rookie mistakes. You're going to see turnovers. You're going to see bad shots. But it's about going back and learning from those mistakes. And I think that one of the biggest things that really caught my attention is he constantly brought up the word winning. He's a winner at heart. He's a guy that wants to instill winning in this Kings culture, which I'm sure the fans will love to hear. And then the second thing is he doesn't really study other guys around the league. Like, he has favorite players that he grew up watching, and he goes back and kind of references it a little bit. Derrick Rose was the guy that we talked about a lot. I brought up the comparisons that people have made to Allen Iverson. But the one thing that he kept telling me is that he doesn't want to be compared to other people. He wants to be compared to himself from the game before, and he wants to constantly go back and watch his own film and find ways to improve. So I think that's something that really caught my eye, and it's something that you don't really hear from some of these other rookies. They talk about idolizing whether it's Kobe or LeBron or some of these other guys and watching film on them. Darius Acuff wants to watch film with Darius Acuff, and we're going to see how that helps him throughout the course of the 26-27 season.
You know, these first-round picks, Brett, you talk about how crazy this draft class has looked. I know the next couple of draft classes won't be this impressive. At least they're not supposed to be this impressive. How can you lay out first-round value right now? I think all of our brains were a bit broken with the Walker Kessler deal, you know, Jalen Duren, which no clue what's happening. I mean, we're in a vortex out here in Vegas, but no clue what's going on with Jalen Duren and the Pistons and how that sign and trade, you know, probably won't be because they want to keep him. But I don't know where first round value is right now. If the Kings wanted to be a part of any type of conversation, whether it be Kuminga in a sign and trade or, like we said, Jalen Duren, somebody like that, what are we doing with first round value right now, Brett? It's very confusing.
It's a really good point to bring up, and quite honestly, I wish I had an answer for you. I think that the Walker Kessler deal kind of sets the market of what teams are thinking about, where you get a high-level, impactful starter that costs you immediately 2 first-round picks, unprotected, and then a pick swap or 2 that the Lakers dealt. And that's kind of what the Nuggets have been wanting in talks for Peyton Watson. That's what some of these other teams are going to want in sign-in trades and trades going into the first half of the 26-27 season. But, Alan, quite honestly, there's really no value to put on these first-round picks right now because of this draft lottery reform, where over the next 3 years, there's this system that it doesn't incentivize losing. You're not going to have the worst teams in the league have the best odds at the number 1 pick. So we're going to be seeing these teams try to be competitive during the second half of the year and remain out of that quote-unquote relegation zone, as Adam Silver continues to reference it and kind of bring us back to. But as far as first-round value goes, I don't think that we're going to see these Mikal Bridges or Desmond Bane-type trades anymore where you're dealing 4 or 5 first-round picks for a guy. We even saw it with Giannis. It didn't take that much. So that's kind of where the market is right now.
We're catching up with Brett Siegel, NBA insider with Clutch Points, of course. Brett, our mutual friend here, Alan Stiles, refuses to give up on that dream that someday Jonathan Kuminga, someday soon perhaps, will be joining the Kings. What is the latest you're hearing on Jonathan Kuminga? We understand maybe there's something shaking with JK and the Lakers. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I kind of feel like that the Kings ship has sailed here on Jonathan Kuminga. They're looking at their young core right now, and quite honestly, if they do look to fill their open roster spot over the next few weeks, I think that the Kings look to bring in another veteran guard to help with the mindset of Darius Acuff and help him through his rookie year. As far as Jonathan Kuminga goes, the talk of the town over the last week has been the Los Angeles Lakers, that he's eventually going to find his way there. most likely by way of sign and trade. It's going to probably involve the Lakers' 2032 swap and Jared Vanderbilt's remaining contract. We'll see if there's anything else to be on the move there, but that's kind of what everybody's talking about in terms of framework. It's just about figuring out how much money Jonathan Kuminga wants, because him and his agent want something in that $20 million per year range, and quite honestly, the Lakers haven't reached that point yet. So it's about finding common ground there, and that's something that Jonathan Kuminga has ironically dealt with throughout the early portion of his career, even looking back to last year with the Golden State Warriors and figuring out what his contract value really is.
You gonna be okay with that?
I'm working through it.
Okay, all right. We're here to help if you need it.
Each and every day. Brett, we all knew that Zach LaVine was going to opt in. Who wouldn't opt in to $49 million? Now that he has opted in, though, a lot of fans are asking us, the Kings need to trade Zach LaVine. The Kings need to trade him. But the leverage piece of this, obviously, you're not going to let his contract expire and bring in somebody else for $49 million. I don't think you can even do that. But don't the Kings have a level of leverage because of the connections that Scott Perry has of wanting cap space? And if a team says, hey, we want Zach LaVine, but here's 1 second rounder and more money to bring onto your payroll, right? Because that money has to match. Couldn't the Kings be in a situation where they turn them down and say, we'd rather have the cap space? That gives us more flexibility to do certain things. Everybody wants to move off of Zach LaVine, but, you got to take something back. So isn't there a world where at this point in time when the Kings heard, oh, okay, you're going to opt in. All right, well, we might just let your contract expire unless somebody does come to the table with some players that the Kings like, or maybe more draft compensation than they expected to acquire.
And I definitely think that's where conversations lie right now between Scott Perry, the Kings front office, and Zach LaVine. There's been no discussions to this point, at least from what I've been told on good authority, that Zach LaVine is not asking for a buyout. The Kings do not want to buy him out. This is not a situation like DeMar DeRozan where he has a partial guarantee in his contract. If you're going to buy him out, that's $49 million on your books, and you're going to have to figure out a way to waive and stretch that. And now you run into a situation like the Milwaukee Bucks where they have Damian Lillard on their books for the next 4 to 5 years, and it's really kind of limiting their moves in free agency and what they can do to improve their roster. And they've kind of gone through a full-scale rebuild now, early portion of that. So that's not what the Kings want to do. Zach LaVine, to my knowledge, is going to be on their opening night roster. And whether or not he finishes the season with the team, that comes down to the trade deadline. And we know, and I know that I talked with you about this, Alan, in the arena, there's going to be teams out there that either A, become desperate and they want to get a guy like Zach LaVine who can give you 18 to 20 points a night on the final year of his contract, a big expiring deal at $49, $50 million. Or the second thing is there's always injuries throughout the year. There's always going to be teams that say, you know what, we need to take a chance. We've gone all in and we can't really win with whoever star injured. We need to go out and get Zach LaVine while we can. And from the Kings' perspective, yeah, they're going to be looking to bring back value, whether that's the form of a protected draft pick or some type of talent that could mesh with what Scott Perry is building this roster into. They're not just going to take back long-term money and second-round assets that they don't want. It would be a deal that the Kings would be in the driver's seat for in that situation where a team would become desperate and they're trying to go after Zach LaVine. To this point, there hasn't been teams actively pursuing him. We know that the Detroit Pistons have been a team interested in him dating back to last year's trade deadline. We'll see if they look to make a big move, because we've heard rumors this offseason that they checked in with Houston about Kevin Durant, and the Houston wasn't interested. They checked in with the Clippers about Kawhi, and Kawhi didn't want to go there to sign a long-term deal. So the Pistons are definitely a team that wants to make a big move at some point, whether that's Zach LaVine or someone else. We'll see how that plays out over the next few months and entering the 26-27 season. But as far as the Kings goes, Zach LaVine's happy to be there. I saw him in the tunnel last night chatting away with Scott Perry, and he was in good spirits, and he still enjoys being one of the focal points of this roster. And I truly believe that next to Darius Acuff, they're going to have a dynamic scoring duo right away in Sacramento.
And how about Domas there, Brett Siegel from Clutch Points? At this point, is there any reason to think that anybody out there has interest in acquiring Domas between now and the start of the season?
It's been quiet on that front, and it's a little interesting because there are teams that he could fit in with. Some of the teams that have been mentioned in the past have already made moves to either upgrade their front court or upgrade their total payroll. I know there was a lot of those talks that we reported on of the Toronto Raptors being a team interested in Domas Sabonis back at the trade deadline. Those talks kind of fell through because Toronto was looking to move Jakob Poeltl. Kings didn't want to take back long-term money. Another one of those teams mentioned the Charlotte Hornets. They addressed their front court needs in the draft by going out and drafting Hannes Steinbach, and they seem to have their front court situation figured out right now. So I would lean towards Domas Sabonis being on the Kings roster to begin the year, but it wouldn't shock me if there was one of these late offseason deals, kind of like the Karl-Anthony Towns type trade with the Knicks a few years ago, where I believe he was traded right before training camp to New York. Maybe we see something like that with Sabonis, but as of right now, it's been very quiet on that front. Haven't heard many teams really chatting with the Kings about a potential trade there.
A name that we don't talk about a lot, it was, I don't know, Brett, some version of a salary dump in Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder. That contract, what is it, the 2-year and an option for Dennis Schroeder netted back DeAndre Hunter. And he's a guy, it just feels like he's forgotten. A lot of people don't talk about him very much. We only saw him for, 2-3 games because he had that eye injury. Scott Perry made this move, and he figured, hey, I'm getting a shorter contract, cost them Keon Ellis, but, you can get those financials back right. Is there any world where DeAndre Hunter could be a target before the trade deadline or at the trade deadline, or does it feel like a situation where he's going to finish out this contract, hopefully he plays well, and then he probably signs for a lower AAV, a lower annual salary in his next deal, wherever that may be?
Yeah, I think you could really say that it's a little bit of both, where the Kings liked DeAndre Hunter. He was a player that Scott Perry wanted to buy low on. It costed Keon Ellis, who a lot of teams were interested in, but the Kings weren't getting anything more than second-round value from teams at the trade deadline. So you were able to flip him and Dennis Schroeder, a guy who didn't really have a long-term future with the Kings, for a guy that Scott Perry has liked for a long time, DeAndre Hunter, a guy that has been highly regarded as being a 3-and-D wing. And we've seen a premium be put on that type of mold of player. And he had a really good showing with the Atlanta Hawks a few years ago as their sixth man before he was ultimately traded to Cleveland. Didn't play as well with the Cavs. And then, like you mentioned, he goes to the Kings, had that injury, and they were kind of tanking at the end of the year anyway. So they didn't really want to play any of their guys and try to win games. They wanted to get a high draft pick. And so now you get a full year of DeAndre Hunter. You get to see how he can mesh with this team. He's 29 years old. He's a little bit on the older side from what the Kings' direction is right now, but you always need to have those kind of veterans that can contribute and be secondary guys, play good defense, shoot from the corner, and be able to perform off the ball. That's what DeAndre Hunter can bring you. And so, yeah, I think that there's going to be interest in a guy like that in the final year of his contract heading into the trade deadline. But if the Kings don't like the value that they're getting, I think Scott Perry's going to be more than comfortable holding on to him and possibly extending him, like you said, on a lower rate, a team-friendly deal to be one of the veterans of this team moving forward.
Catching up with Brett Siegel, and you knew, Brett, one of the things we were going to ask you today was about LeBron. What, such as it is the very latest on where LeBron is going to end up?
Everybody keeps saying Cleveland. I mean, all the executives I've had conversations with this week in Las Vegas, scouts, agents, everybody seems to lean Cleveland, but that's not where everybody's prediction lies. It's just the obvious answer saying, yeah, he's going to go back to the Cavs. It's storybook ending year 24. He's got the film crew that he hired. Makes the most sense. And I'm of that belief, too. It makes the most sense for him to finish his career in Cleveland. But these other teams that are in the mix, whether it's Philadelphia, Miami, Golden State, Minnesota, Denver, none of them have really been told that they're out of this race. And they continue to have communication with LeBron and Rich Paul. We just reported on Clutch Points the other day. From the Warriors' perspective, they still believe that they're very much in this race. And they've had conversations both with Rich Paul and Steph Curry and Draymond have both had conversations directly with LeBron, Draymond being one of the only players in the league who's actually spent time with him over the last 2 weeks. So we'll see what happens here. A decision could really come within the next few days. I know he's going to be at Fanatics Fest. Maybe he announces something on one of those shows. I don't think he will. I think that this is going to be something that he waits until at least after the World Cup is over and he can get the full attention on him of what his decision is going to be. But I mean, from a marketing standpoint, Rich Paul and LeBron know what they're doing. This has been 23 years of this, and they've been marketing his journey and his legacy, and they're big on storytelling, and I wouldn't expect anything different with this decision. I think that within the next 2 weeks, probably near the start of August, we're going to know where LeBron's going.
Okay. All right.
I know you're getting anxious, Whitey. I know you're getting anxious for where LeBron is going a little bit.
I was, and then I got to a point where I was like, yeah, I don't care as much as I used to, Alan.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, I know you care about Malik Monk. Brett, Malik Monk is a guy that at one point Kings fans were very excited to keep, and it was almost a hometown discount in a way. Then something happened, Brett, and it turned into a bad contract as you see players like him getting less money. I like to compare him to Quentin Grimes a little bit as well. Malik Monk next season, he has a player option, so could be on the Kings for 2 more years. With his price point, is it similar to Zach LaVine, where there's probably no world where he opts out and sees what else is out there? Because I think he's at 16, 17 a year, maybe closer to 20, because he knows that his next contract won't look like that. And because of that, is this another situation? I know people love Malik Monk, but a Malik Monk trade probably isn't in the cards.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any teams actively pursuing him. I think that this is more of a situation where if the Kings go out and look for an upgrade somewhere in that $20 to $30 million range, I don't think that they're going to. But let's say that they do explore that over the next 2-3 months leading up to the start of the season. That's a good contract to look to move because it's $20 million this year. And then, like you said, I believe it's a $21.5 million player option for 27-28. And when he's come off the bench in his career, Malik Monk has been a really good scorer. So could he fit in with a playoff contender around the league? Absolutely. Do I think that there's teams looking at him and wanting to pursue him right now? I don't think so. I think, again, this is another one of those situations you can lump him in with DeAndre Hunter and you can lump him in with Zach LaVine, where at the trade deadline, there's going to be teams looking to make upgrades. There's going to be teams looking to fill holes because of injuries. And the Kings are going to be at the front of the line for some of these guys in terms of teams pursuing their players because Zach LaVine's in the final year of his contract. DeAndre Hunter is a 3-and-D wing that's in the final year of his contract at $25 million. If a team needs a scorer off the bench at the guard position, Malik Monk may be a guy that's worth taking a chance on at low value, maybe move some second-round picks and some expiring salary for him. So I think that's really what we look at when we look at what the Kings roster is right now. It's just they're going young. They're going to put full faith in Keegan Murray, Darius Acuff, Nick Clifford, some of these younger guys, and then have the veterans be the supporting cast and likely move on from them either at the trade deadline or next offseason. That's just the reality that the Kings are living right now. And I do give Scott Perry a lot of credit and his front office a lot of credit for the job that they've done, basically taking a complete mess of the books and what they had on this roster, a team that wasn't going anywhere, and really flipping it around to build it in their own vision. So it takes time. I know Kings fans, they just saw the success with De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. It looked like things were kind of on the ups, and now you take another step back, and it's back to mediocrity. But I do believe that there is a path forward here with Scott Perry leading the way, and I really do like the moves that he's made over the course of the last season and a half.
Yeah, that, of course, Brett Siegel from Clutch Points, NBA Insider. Brett, you drive around Las Vegas and you see I still think of it as a newer football stadium. I know it's been there a while. And they got the baseball stadium that's being erected, which is kind of tough for those of us who, grew up in the Bay Area. But my point is Las Vegas continues to add teams. Is an NBA expansion franchise to Las Vegas? I know the commissioner addressed expansion a little bit this week. Is that a foregone conclusion that Vegas gets a team?
Well, I'll just say this. I got a beautiful view of this baseball stadium being built for my hotel. This is going to be a state-of-the-art baseball stadium. I can't wait to catch some games out here when we do have Summer League every year. These days games are going to be incredible, and that facility looks impressive already, even though it's halfway done. But as far as the NBA coming out here, it's inevitable. Adam Silver every year always says that it feels like that we already have the 31st team out here in Las Vegas because of Summer League every year. We constantly ask him about expansion, and he keeps hinting that it's getting close, but nothing's definitive yet. It is definitive. We know that Las Vegas is going to be getting a team, and it's going to be happening within the next 2 to 3 years whenever they officially meet and discuss expansion, probably going to be agreed upon by the end of this calendar year with the Board of Governors. And then that second team would be Seattle. That's just really the two markets that have been talked about the most, the two markets that they're going to be voting on. And we're already seeing bids being put together. I think it's Jerry Colangelo, Magic Johnson, some other millionaires, billionaires coming together to put together a bid for a Las Vegas team. This is something that will happen after the NBA Europe stuff takes place. I know Adam Silver spoke yesterday about that, and he kind of delegated to Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum, who's taken the spearhead of the NBA Europe project. They're getting that rolling within the next 2 months. There's going to be a lot more details coming out about that. And then once the 26-27 season begins, the Board of Governors meet sometime in end of October, November, just early December. That's when the vote's going to take place for expansion, and I think that's when we're going to get the announcement that Las Vegas and Seattle are officially a go, and that those will be the two next franchises added to the NBA.
Brett, just one more for me. When we ran into each other on Sunday, you said, Yeah, it's a little bit quieter than it has been at Summer League, just as far as the rumors and things like that. Well, that's because a lot has already happened. You know, every time we talk about all these trades, I feel like I forget one of them, whether it's LaMelo kicking things off, headed to Minnesota. Then obviously you have Jaylen Brown. Giannis finally got moved, and we're just waiting for LeBron, and LeBron's going to do LeBron things. Does it feel like, based on what you've heard this week, does it feel like the fireworks are done? Or, you know, when you're sitting there on 4th of July and you think they're done, and then there are a couple more that happen at the very end before you pack up and get out of there? Or does it feel like everything is done for this summer?
Well, we're still waiting on the Kawhi stuff to get figured out. And I know Adam Silver talked about it yesterday. It's an ongoing investigation. That's really the big domino next to LeBron. Those two things are really what everybody's been talking about at Summer League. It hasn't been trade talks or who could get moved. It's just, where do you think LeBron's going to end up, and what do you think is going to happen with Kawhi? And at this point, I'm of the belief, along with the consensus, that if the league was going to do something drastic with Kawhi Leonard, this investigation would have been done by now. But we know that it's being dragged on by the legal team. They want to get all the details necessary, and the NBA doesn't want to cut them off, because then it's an inconclusive report. Because Adam Silver has the power to stop this whenever he wants, but they want to get every little detail to make sure that they make the most rational decision and figure out what a potential punishment is going to be if there is one. They don't want to cut the investigation off early and then the law firm say, well, our findings are inconclusive and we couldn't really find anything because the NBA stopped us. So that's why Adam Silver is letting them go through with this process. He wants this done by the end of the summer, so that means within the next month we're going to have an answer on Kawhi Leonard. I don't think that his contract's going to get voided. At most, he could be facing a suspension. But again, I just don't believe that that's going to be the case. I think that there's going to be fines handed out, and that will be that for this investigation. As far as other fireworks that happen, like we've been talking about, LeBron, where he goes, there's going to be some kind of fallout effect for these teams that are in the running for him, not just the team that he does choose, and supplement moves that they make to make sure that they're a championship contender in what could be LeBron's final year or his final 2 years. But those other teams, let's say the Warriors miss out on LeBron, do they then go out and make some other move to try to improve their roster? What about Miami? Are they going to be done if they don't get LeBron? Are they settled with Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bam Adebayo? How are they going to use the rest of their mid-level exceptions? So there's still some little moves to be made out there. I don't think that there's going to be anything drastic in terms of a big all-star being on the move, but there are some other little moves that need to be made, including DeMar DeRozan, and he's being held up by LeBron James.
Brett Siegel, we appreciate your time very much. We know you have lots to do in Vegas. We know you're working. Hopefully we'll see you tonight or Friday at the arena. Either way, we hope to talk to you soon, and we thank you for your time.
I appreciate you, fellas. Safe travels back when you're heading out of Las Vegas.
Thank
Same to you, Brett. Thank you.
Brett Siegel. So a lot there to digest. He had some interesting things to say about the Kings this year. We'll go back over those here as we roll on from Vegas. Get ready for Kings and Celtics tonight. Drive guys from the Sack Shack. Yeah, Sactown Sports.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Country in the Park 2, presented by your California Army National Guard, October 23rd at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Russell Dickerson. Plus more. Enjoy line dancing, live DJs, mechanical bull, and food trucks. Tickets start at just $70. Country in the Park 2, October 23rd at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra, the California Office of Traffic Safety, and Caltrans. More info at CITPFest.com.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual-active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown, 411 16th Street, and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. But please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's summertime, and Aleve is here to keep you on the go. Whether it's planes, trains, or automobiles, Aleve's got your back with up to 12 hours of back pain relief. With just one dose, you'll get to your destination and be ready for your next adventure. So pack your sunscreen, your shades, and your Aleve. No matter where your final stop, Aleve will keep you moving. From sunup to sundown, Aleve's got your back this summer. Feel Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core so you can work from anywhere. Now starting at $699 with exclusive student pricing starting at $599. Complete your setup with savings on select monitors and must-have electronics and accessories. Limited time deals and free shipping on PCs and more await you at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Hi. I'm Justin Gingery from the law firm of Gingery, Hammer, and Associates.
When you have been injured by the fault of another, you will want advice you can trust. If you know an attorney you can trust, I hope you call that person. But if you don't, please call me. I promise I will be the attorney you can trust.
Along with my partner and associates, I have been helping accident survivors recover for their injuries for over 25 years.
And we can help you. There's no charge for calling, so please call us today.
When you get an injury, just call Gingery.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
The sounds of summer. They're great until they're not. Luckily, AutoZone has free battery testing and charging
Let me check that for you.
to help make a rough moment smooth. Don't miss the Celebrate Free event at AutoZone. Free products with select deals until July 27th. And free services every day. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
In celebration of 80 years of 49ers football, Sactown Sports is counting down 80 of the most memorable moments that have shaped the team's storied legacy and winning tradition. Here's today's faithful flashback.
Number 41, John Brody's clutch comeback.
The final game of the 1972 season, the 49ers were facing the Minnesota Vikings and were trailing 17-6 in the fourth quarter. Quarterback John Brody was injured but was summoned back into the game by head coach Dick Nolan to replace Steve Spurrier. Brody led a 99-yard drive that culminated with a game-winning touchdown with just 25 seconds left to secure a 20-17 victory and a trip to the playoffs.
Faithful flashbacks on Sactown Sports 1140. Live from Las Vegas for NBA Summer League, presented by Power Business Technology. Here's Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Coming back to you here from the Sac Shack. Interesting talking to Brett Siegel, because we know that when the Kings played the Nets, they didn't look very big, but he seems to think the Kings could have an offense that towers over the rest of the NBA. Speaking of, something's not right. Oh, I know what it is. There you go, Alan. Sorry about that.
Why do you have those? How long have you had those?
I just now.
Radio listeners, Whitey has been obsessing over this chair gate. He's got 2 pillows, and I thought he looked a little bit higher than me, but I'm comfortable in my, in my own skin.
I only just did that.
Anything.
I only just did that.
I don't know. I think you had him because you did it yesterday too.
At some point,
too.
Maybe I did. Maybe I did. I don't know if our friend Brett Siegel, if he's trying to say nice things because he knows, he has Kings fans listening, or if it's reasonable to think that the Kings have a legitimate shot at having a very good, maybe even a potent offense this year.
Well, I think a lot of people believe that Zach LaVine is going to be on a mission, and you can take that however you want to take it, but it's a contract year. And it's a running joke, not just with Zach LaVine, not just with basketball players, just in general, that when guys have contract years, there is something in the psychology of it, the mentality of how you go about things, because you're playing for a new contract. You're playing for a paycheck, right?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people, especially coming off of the season that he had where he was injured, and that's been a big knock on Zach LaVine, being injured. So it feels like he's going to be a hunter this go round.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's the reason, and getting obviously DeMontis Sabonis back. So kind of this new iteration of the Kings where you don't have somebody in DeMar DeRozan that does have the basketball a lot, and it gets to be a little bit magnet ball at times. So I think people are obviously cautiously optimistic. It's also a low bar. It's also, they're going to be much better than they were last season because they just weren't healthy.
Sure, but I'm not talking about that low bar of are they going to be better. I'm talking about a higher bar of is this going to be an above-average NBA offense. Some people think there's the potential for that. The Zach LaVine thing kind of cuts both ways the way I see it, because on the one hand, yes, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, contract year. You see this in all sports, highly motivated. But even if he plays well, he's not going to be sticking around. And I think Domas is not in a contract year, but he also, you would think, if the Kings have made it clear to him that, we think the world of you, big fella, but, we are looking to move on because we're going another direction, he's going to want to show the rest of the league, A, that he's healthy, and B, that he's worth, somebody going out and bringing in.
That's why I called the team first team all Frito-Lay.
Why is that?
Chips on the shoulders.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Big chips on the shoulders.
Uh-huh.
The whole team.
Frito-Lay is not a very big – well, I guess Frito-Lay is a brand, so that could be any number of –
Or you can say Cool Ranch if you want.
Okay.
No,
you're right. You're right. I stand corrected.
It's a big deal,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Domas in particular going from – and really you have the injuries and then you have the season prior that was just a mess. So it's just an opportunity to have a normal season, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Just get a normal season for everybody involved.
But as you discussed, I believe you brought him up with Brett, the X Factor. What's an X Factor? To me, the X Factor is a guy like, who knows? And it's DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah, DeAndre Hunter. The same idea as the Zach LaVine thing, but in a different way. He's expiring, so the Kings can take something back that they want, right? If they're and we didn't get to talk to Brett about this. The young player conversation, that second draft conversation, I think that is something that could come up with some of these Zach LaVine trade talks and DeAndre Hunter trade talks. Not sure if you're getting a first rounder. I know Brett mentioned protected picks, but there could be a world where if you are taking back contracts and you're not taking back trade compensation, there could be guys where, like the Wizards, for example, they don't have the money to do it, but like we talked about, they have, Trey Johnson, they have Will Riley, they have guys that at some point they're not going to be able to develop all of them because they did go in and go grab Anthony Davis and Trae Young. So players like that for a team that's trying to compete, Scott Perry could say, I like this player, looks like something I like, and he was a late first rounder. So there are other ways to improve the team and to get younger, and I'm excited about that. I don't know how realistic it is.
By the way, we had a guest who was going to be on with us today, and the guest had to reschedule, and this guest may be on tomorrow, I think, or later in the week. And this person, a friend of the show, has been on before, but this person said, I've got that Vegas voice going. I need to rest my voice, and we'll do it again some other time, and we look forward to that. But that's a real thing. Now, I haven't been out very late. I know we were all out late the night before, but have you had any kind of – I think because of the dry air, I got a little bit of it, and you have people talking like that guy. Sports Center is brought to you by Gillette Shaving Cream.
Yeah.
Have you had any Vegas voice going? How about you, Jay?
No.
You got any of that Vegas voice going?
No, not I. Not I. Now, the week is still young, but not I. Not quite yet.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. And we've been talking a lot. So,
yeah, that's true.
Sports Center is brought to you by Applebee's.
But it's all, you gotta pace. That's what it's all about, right? Like the pacing I had at my 40. You gotta pace yourself, and this is a business trip. So the dry air, to me, I'm saying very hydrated.
Wait, you paced yourself in your 40? I mean, it's a
sprint. No, I'm telling you, man. I had more. I got.
We'll talk more about that next.
No,
segment.
I got a little more in there.
Paced yourself in your 40. That's on you.
I know, but again, I wanted to see how it felt. Had my shoe. I brought my shoes, my running shoes, when I told you changed my life.
So you knew that you were going to do this.
Oh, I had
the whole.
Well, I asked my wife, "Hey, can you tie me in the 40?" And she said no. So then after she said no, I knew.
For her. I've only met her like one time, I think.
Yeah. So she said no.
I'm
so
a
then
fan.
I said, okay, I'll just do it in Vegas. And she won't know. So that was the plan the whole time.
Yeah. Alan, what do you think? Am I making too much of this tonight? That the Kings, I want to see them play with energy and effort. I want to see Dylan Cardwell set the tone and all of that.
Yeah.
Am I making too much of it?
You're literally turning into the Summer League fan you said you didn't like. Alan, when someone says, I want to see more actions.
No, I'm not.
Oh, yeah. You are.
I'm not talking X's and O's. I'm talking about imposing your will
that's a cousin.
on the other club.
No, you are a cousin, and you didn't even write that down for your archetypes. Write down this. Oh, they need to come out with intensity. You are that. You are the cousin.
Yeah.
You're in that category too.
Yeah, if that's an archetype, they need to come out with energy. That's definitely me because I want to see that.
I know.
Tonight. And in the next game against the Charlotte Hornets.
You're going to be ticked off if you don't see it.
Well, is that unreasonable?
Yeah.
Aren't you a little
You're going to
bit?
be in the media scrum. Let me ask a question.
Get out of my way.
Move over, Brendan.
I'll show you how to play physical. Boo. Yeah.
Hey, Coach, what the heck is going on?
Sorry, Jeremiah. You were making too much noise last night. I heard you out there. Boo, get out of my way.
Get out of it.
Yeah.
That's going to be you. So I should be I'm very worried for this Kings team if they do not perform well.
But as you said, I mean, it's 2 games in a row. Yesterday when they came out and they, kind of rolled up in the fetal position early on, you said, wow, it's 2 games in a row. And that's what Dylan Cardwell said. It was just the start against Washington, and they came back. So I don't think I'm overreacting to say after 2 games where they started like that, I just want to see them play with a little more
Yeah, a little urgency.
Yeah.
Right? You're not.
Play like you don't really want to get punked. Like you're not like, oh, Summer League, okay.
I mean, a lot of them playing for their jobs. The guys playing tonight, besides Dylan Cardwell, playing for their jobs.
What's happened to your guy Sutton?
I don't know. Is he on the plane? I don't know. I saw him for a hot second yesterday. It's gotta be a big game for him. I'm telling you, this Cali Classic, we're gonna have to say that this Cali Classic might be not fraudulent, but what happens at the Cali Classic.
Fraudulent.
No, I'm saying what
It might
happens.
be too strong.
No, I'm saying what happens at the Cali Classic might not be indicative of how they're going to play at Summer League because you're at home. Oh, yeah.
Look, California
feeling
Classic
good.
is Summer League preseason, right?
Which is a crazy statement.
Yes, but isn't that what it is?
Yes.
It's Summer League preseason.
So we put too much stock.
So don't be surprised if, wow, the things that happened in Summer League preseason aren't translating.
Well, but at that time, we did pay attention to that, and we did probably overreact to that as well. So now we got preseasons to the preseasons. Then we have normal. So we have preseason Summer League.
Right.
Then we have Summer League,
right,
which is preseason. Then we have actual preseason.
Right.
And then the season.
Right.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah. So at some point, if you're going to tell us about, as the organization has, we're going to be the hardest working team, at some point you need to show that. We just can't take you seriously if that's what you're saying. And then Summer League or not, which I know I've said a million times, you come out and you just get shoved out of the gymnasium and shoved into the relegation game at the Cox Pavilion on Friday morning or whatever it is.
Yep. We used to be in the big house.
All right, coming up, Mercedes Howard going to join us, Ryan Hollins, and we'll tell you why it is hard not to overreact to Summer League. From Vegas, Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Hey, this is Jelly Roll. As many of you know, my song Winning Streak is about my own personal struggles with addiction. I first sought help for my addiction at 14 years old. Start your recovery journey. Choose a proven addiction treatment option that's right for you at ChooseChangeCA.org. The real you is worth recovering. Choose Change California provides access to proven treatment options for addiction to opioids and stimulants. ChooseChangeCA.org. This is your chance to recover your life.
Wow, what is all this? These screens, the food.
All for the game, bro.
Let us pitch in.
No need. I'm saving $1,000 bundling my wireless and internet with T-Mobile. I've got it all covered.
Goal! Here to score big with T-Mobile. Families save up to $1,000 a year when they bundle 5G home internet with 4 phone lines on Experience Beyond. Compared to regular rates after third line free on Experience Beyond plan with internet bundle discount via monthly bill credits and auto-pay discount. Credit stop if you cancel or change plans.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like head administrator for a state-of-the-art surgical center.
What can I do for you, Doc?
We need to talk about the lights.
Ah, the mood lighting, relaxing, right? Much better than those old hospital vibes.
A hospital's supposed to have hospital vibes.
You seem tense. Let's dim the lights a bit.
This is your job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, a Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. I've heard you're extending the 4th of July sales event because the deals were just so good.
They were the best deals of the year, and we wanted to keep the savings going. Right now, you can save up to $14,000 off MSRP on new 2026 Ram 2500 and 3500 heavy duties. Plus, save thousands more with 0% financing for 60 months.
Wow. $14,000 off MSRP and 0% financing. That's crazy.
At Hoblet, our goal is to get you the hard-to-find heavy-duty truck you need at the best price possible. Plus, we have over 600 Rams available.
Search, select, and save through our whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection, and now, unbeatable interest rates. $14,000 total net savings on select new 2026 Ram 2500 Laramie after $9,500 dealer discount and factory incentives. Incentives include $500 on-the-job upfit with eligible upfit, $1,000 Hoblet business owner bonus with proof of business ownership, $1,000 Hoblet trade-in assistance with eligible trade, 0% financing for 60 months on approved credit through SFS, $1,667 per thousand borrowed. 10th net savings. See dealer for details.
Live from Las Vegas for NBA Summer League, presented by Power Business Technology. Here's Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Drive Guys back at the Sack Shack. Lots going on here as we're getting ready for the Kings and the Celtics tonight. This place, as you know, everybody knows Las Vegas is
crazy. Still, you see some things you don't expect to see. This morning I got up, I look out the window, and there's this absolute maniac running up and down the street in a green shirt. So I wasn't sure what to do. Do I wake the guys up? Is this guy pose some kind of threat to all of us? Then I looked a little more closely here, because I had a little blurry vision in the morning. And it was Alan running up and down the street doing your 40s.
That's right.
Yeah.
We've talked about it so much. And I said, we're out here. We're at the Sack Shack. It's time to run the 40. It's time to put my money where my mouth is. I put it out there. Fastest host, non-professional athlete host in California. Okay, and I had to stand on business.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes out to everybody out there that didn't think I would do it. I did it, and I made sure it was recorded. I made sure we had the time. And honestly, Whitey, I'm going to keep it 1,000 with you. I think I had more in the tank.
Okay.
I do think I had more in the tank, but this is only the beginning. We're trying to get down to a ridiculous number here. I ran a 4.86.
Yeah.
So talk to me nice. If people got something to say about my takes, before you send me anything, okay, send me a video of your 40.
Okay.
That's what I want.
Now you said, no one thought I would do it. I don't know if it was that or no one really cared if you did it or
No
not.
one thought I would do it.
Yeah.
No one thought I would do it. People didn't believe that I still had the Jets. All right. And like I said, I'm not sure that was everything I had, but I also didn't tell my wife I was doing that. So I wanted to make sure that I left unscathed, and I did.
Okay.
And I did. A little sore though.
Oh, I had a little left in the tank. You just became Mr. Well, I shot a 103, but I didn't take lessons.
I did in that regard.
Yeah. I had 4.8. But I know I could have run faster.
Well, look,
you did it.
Look, and people are looking at it now and watching. Here's the thing, though. So you shave off the fact that I still had more in the tank. Then you shave off the fact that I don't have the best running form.
And
right?
what's your handicap?
My handicap, that's one breakfast ball, one brunch ball. I don't have the best running form. I never have. I kind of go out here, Whitey. If I had just thrown the hammer and went, straight up and down with the hands, you're really looking at a 4.6.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Give me a number. What number do you think, where do you think I would be? I want to see if I could top your number.
In the 40?
Yeah, whatever you say. Yeah. You don't try to be nice or.
Yeah, I think you got a sub 6 in you.
Sub 6. Okay.
Yeah, I think you got a sub 6 in you.
All right.
I believe that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
The over under right at what, like
5.9.
5.9.
5.9.
Okay. We'll see if we can do that.
And I know they talked about it on the morning show because I bust in to the backyard. I bust the door to the backyard. Chris is about to go on with the morning show.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, Chris, I'm going to ask you to record my 40 when you're done here. So apparently it came up on the call. G-Man found out, right? Because they were talking to G-Man.
Yes.
G-Man wanted to know what I ran the 40 in. So now everybody wanted to know what I was going to do and how I was going to perform under pressure in the heat. I didn't add that. 90, what is it? 108 degrees.
The heat is good.
So you take that away too.
That's
that might be
positive.
a 4.5. It might be a 4 or 5 in conditions. No wind.
I think you got to add time because you did it in the heat.
No wind, nothing like that.
Speaking of Chris in the backyard, as you guys know, I've been maybe a little loopy today myself, but was it yesterday? Chris is one of the guys that gets up earliest, and my room here in the compound is near the door to the outside. And yes, I heard Chris go outside, and I heard him saying, "Oh, it's not too hot out here." So I got up and I went out there. I said, "Is Alan here?" He said, "No." I said, "Well, I thought I heard somebody say it's not too hot out here." And he goes, "Oh yeah, that was me. I was talking to myself." So, so we are having a good time here.
Yes, yeah. Like we said, you add on, I don't know, Whitey, what? Anything more than 3 nights? Now we're not doing Vegas. I know everyone keeps getting.
Well, you are.
Everyone keeps getting up in arms every time I say the V word.
Yeah.
So I can't say the V word anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a vacation. Bosses are listening. It's not a vacation, okay? Whenever I get on a plane, I just say the word vacation. I understand that we are working. But you know what? How I'm going to flip it? Because when work is fun, it feels like a vacation.
Sure.
And that's how I meant it.
You're a good worker. So to you, work and vacation in some ways are
synonymous. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Same thing.
Getting to hang out with all of you. So it's fun. So apologies, the semantics, words that I've been using. No, it's not you, Whitey, but there are others at the station. Oh, you're saying you're on vacation. everybody knows what I mean. All right. Does it look like I'm on vacation when we're putting out all this content? Does it look like it?
Anyway, moving on. I hope people don't overreact to Allen's time. And speaking of overreactions, and that's like a 2.5.
I'll give you 2.7.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll gladly take that. But it's hot outside, so give me a 2.9.
Now you're getting it. Now you're getting it.
Yeah, I think I have been, like a lot of people, but I'll speak for myself, been guilty of overreacting to what we've seen at Summer League. And after yesterday, Allen, maybe it's an overreaction, but look I'm discouraged by the Kings right now, and I want to see a little something extra tonight against Boston.
Well, you ain't going to see it from a couple players that are not playing. Who is it? Acuff.
Is it Acuff?
Is it Acuff? Yeah. And last but not least, who is it? Clifford.
Clifford?
Yeah.
Not tonight.
He's not playing either.
No.
By the way, go check out that interview he did with Jason Ross. It's great. It's on YouTube. So I don't know, Whitey. Now that they're not playing, right? And we didn't think that they'd play in a back-to-back. I believe Caleb Wilson did play in a back-to-back, and he recently.
Look at Allen with
No, because he said, I'm not saying these guys talking about the other, the core four, if you will. He said, I'm not saying that they don't love basketball. I'm just saying that I do. And I don't like being taken off the court. So that I believe Caleb Wilson played in a back-to-back, but most of them aren't. So with that being said, now having this conversation about, what did the Kings do today? Do you care? I mean, I'm being serious. Do you really care if Acuff and I know Nick is a sophomore, but if Acuff and Maxime too, another sophomore, but if Acuff's not playing, does it hit the same?
Maybe not, but I do care. And I think maybe in some ways it's more likely that we see a team that comes out with a little more, because Mobo's playing.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he's not going to take no mess.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that to win. Summer League, I don't care, but you can't get punked, to borrow the term that Dylan Cardwell used yesterday. You can't just go out there and get punked tonight nor Friday.
Yeah.
When you have these guys presumably are playing. So I want to see them end Summer League with a little more, force and effort and energy and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing here is just not pace, but just aggressiveness that they come out with. Not laying down to any other team, finding what they found in the 916 in Sacramento before they got out there or out here to Vegas. Finding some version of that, I think, would go a long way just to help them. And I know they'll have another game after this. They play on Friday.
Yeah.
But help them end the summer with a good taste in their mouth. Now, to be fair, we ended the summer with a great taste in our mouth. Last season, I know the Kings didn't win it all, but they went to the finals, and it was an abysmal season. So ultimately, you can argue how much it truly matters, but it would just be nice because we've been looking forward to Summer League for so long, and it's been kind of a dud.
Yeah, that might be the story of Summer League. The fact that last year Charlotte and Sacramento were in the finals, and this year, basically in one of the relegation.
That pretty much,
That's the story of. Should that be the story of Summer League? No, of course not. But I'll tell you my least favorite form of overreaction. I think in one case this is justified, but you see it a lot, and maybe some of us engage in it too, but still it's my least favorite form of overreaction. A team picks player A. They don't pick player B in the draft. Player B has a good game, player A doesn't. Oh, why didn't they draft that guy that scored 17 points last night in Summer League? What are they doing? Now, to me, if you all along had said, hey, I would take player B before the draft, and then your team didn't, and then that guy plays well, okay, you got reason, you got justification to crow a little bit, but otherwise, come on, Allen.
Yeah, it's just what you do. As a fan, it's what you do, right? So I don't tell people how to fan. You know that. Who that's happening a lot with is Malik Thomas, and we talked about him.
And your
yesterday.
guy Brazil also.
And Brazil, he had a great game,
right?
And,
how did they take care of him?
Exactly,
These guys.
Yeah, but I mean, now that you bring it up, and we'll see how much point that Emmanuel Sharp plays with no Nick Clifford or Darius Acuff. I think there are still things to pay attention to. And with that being said, maybe, Whitey, what we can get out of this as we continue to talk to different people. We talked to Marcellus Howard today, a basketball content creator. The dude is an absolute stud.
He's coming up.
Yeah, we talked to him, or we're going to talk to him.
Yeah,
and you hear what he has to say, and he's another guy that says, I love Acuff and I love Sharp. Right. Didn't even bring up Caravan. So I'm wondering today, could that be the breakout game for Alex Caravan with some of the other shot creators and shot takers on the bench.
Let's hope so. We have a big hour coming up to Allen's point. Marcellus Howard is going to join us. Ryan Hollins is going to join us. So stick around. A feisty 5 o'clock hour is coming up with the Drive Guys from the Sac Shack in Vegas on Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wow, what is all this? These screens, the food.
All for the game, bro.
Let us pitch in.
No need. I'm saving $1,000 bundling my wireless and internet with T-Mobile. I've got it all covered.
Goal! Here to score big with T-Mobile. Families save up to $1,000 a year when they bundle 5G home internet with 4 phone lines on Experience Beyond. Compared to regular rates after third line free on Experience Beyond plan with internet bundle discount via monthly bill credits and auto-pay discount. Credit stop if you cancel or change plans.
You know, I used to think all money managers were the same until I spoke with Fisher Investments.
Really? How different are they?
Fisher's investment counselors are dedicated to service, not sales, keeping clients up to date on their portfolio.
Well, they probably just invest in a bunch of mutual funds like I do.
Nope. They build a tailored portfolio based on their clients' personal goals, helping them stay on track for a comfortable retirement.
Well, they must make commissions selling products.
Actually, Fisher doesn't sell any commission-based products. They're a fiduciary, and they believe that's a conflict.
Then they have some kind of complex fee structure.
Nope. Fisher has a simple, transparent fee that's a percentage of their client's portfolio. So they do better when their clients do better.
It sounds like Fisher really is different.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Fisher Investments. Clearly different wealth management. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com/different. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and yeah, I've been on the air here just shy of 25 years, and you guys know that when I endorse something, I have a few very important things. Number one, I love it when they're local. Number two, I have to be willing to use them myself. This is where Pest Pros came in, or comes in, I should say, because I've known these guys as Kings fans a long, long time. I also have a mouse problem at my house. I also have a cockroach problem at my house. And I did it the old-fashioned way. Went through Facebook, got a hold of these guys. We became friends. And when I found out what Pest Pros does in the community, I thought, I've got to have you guys on the air. We've got a partner. Locally owned, locally operated. Their kids go to school with your kids. You're going to get pest control somewhere. Get it with Pest Pros. Here's how you get a hold of them. PestProsPS.com or call them at 916-588-9345. That's 916-588-9345 and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's finally here, and we're kicking it off with a whole lot of free. Free brake pads with Duralast rotors. Free oil filter with 5 quarts of oil. Free Armor All wipes with Armor All glass cleaner, and more. More free, so you can have more summer. Celebrate free at AutoZone. Now through July 27th. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports 1140, your local sports leader. Live from Las Vegas for NBA Summer League, presented by Power Business Technology. Here's Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Drive Guys coming to you from the Sack Shack in Vegas, rolling on here, getting ready for the Kings in Boston tonight. And Alan has a friend of his who's going to join us. We appreciate our special guest's time today.
That's right. It is my guy, Marcellus Howard, one of the hottest basketball media content creators out right now. Marcellus, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thank you, guys. It's an honor. I know last time my microphone was butchered, but we're getting it right today. So I'm glad to be here.
That's right. We're getting it right today. We wish you were out here, but real quick before we get into anything else, I want to give you a chance to kind of talk about how you got into the content creation on the basketball side. But weren't you recently hooping with Isaiah Thomas with the pizza guy? Did I see that?
So. No, I wasn't hooping. I was just more so watching. Me and IT go way back since 2018, 19, around there. That's how I started my hoop journey in the content where I was making impersonation videos and I was making a lot of Isaiah Thomas. And at the time, you know what I'm saying, he was still playing. He just left the Kings, got to Boston. And then, so I was just showing major love to him then. And then he just been tapped in. We've been talking to each other since then. And then 2021, he invited me out to UW. Or at 2021 or 22, either way, he invited me out to UW and we went to go work out. And ever since then, we've been super cool. So, yeah, that's my guy.
Marcellus, I know you recently did a video in which you showed the difference between what we think we can do and what our 30-year-old self can do. So what advice would you have for my buddy here? Because this morning I get up, I look out the window, and there's some nut in a green shirt and he's running up and down the street. And I was trying to figure out, should I call the cops or, the authorities? And it was Alan, and he's running 40 times.
That's right.
And he's recording them. Maybe he's going to be the guy who defeats Father Time. What do you think of all that?
I think what he's doing is substantial. It's amazing because here's one thing that differentiates from what I was posting. Jumping is the key. Running, you can run forever. But when you jump and land on that concrete, you know what I'm saying? That's what differentiates between the legs breaking, between the longevity of the running legs. So, yeah.
Hey, Marcellus, I put up a 4.86. Okay, 4.86 at 36 years old, post Achilles. All right, I'm feeling good about it, Marcellus.
That's
because
fire.
after this, I'm going to have to call you up, I don't know, are you lefty too? Because I think I saw something, because I'm lefty. I might have to be out there with you, show you what I got.
So I shoot the ball left-handed, but I'm right-handed and everything else. So I'm ambidextrous in some sort.
Okay. Okay. Well, look, same list like me, that lefty stroke, people love it. You know what I mean? So we gotta get out there, give the people what they want, Marcellus, get a tournament going, something like that. Don't worry, I'll organize it. We'll get it popping. Now, speaking of point guard play, Kings weren't really good yesterday, and that's putting it lightly. You were really big on Russell Westbrook when he joined the squad. Last time we had you on, you were very happy Russell Westbrook joined the squad. Now that they have Darius Acuff, do you want Russ back in a mentor capacity, or are you, hey, it was a good run, 1 year, let's let the young guy cook and kind of piecemeal the backup point guard thing together?
That's an interesting question. I seen something where the Pelicans made sure they got DeAndre Jordan back to their roster, right? Not for big minutes in the game, but locker room presence. I think locker room presence is huge. And I think Russell Westbrook brings that veteranship to a team where a young guy like Acuff can learn from a ex-MVP guy who was playing at the top of his level in his prime. So if we have room for it on our roster, which will be very tough this year, but I would like to see him come back in some way, shape, or form. I know that's unlikely, but Russell Westbrook is the perfect guy for Darius Acuff to learn from.
Yeah, Marcellus Howard, nice enough to join us. How important is it for the Kings that Darius Acuff become truly the guy? I mean, him and all of that. How important is that to the franchise? And how patient can fans in the organization be with that process?
Man, it's interesting, right? Because we're kind of like in that like gray area. We just made the playoffs in 2023. We had that big outbreak and then the play in after that and things of that nature. So it's not like we have been so far off from the playoffs as of late. But this is going to be a little bit of a phase here because we have a lot of young guys and the West is loaded. The Eastern Conference is loaded. The NBA is loaded in general. So I think the fans, we have to kind of go back to the old style of basketball where we have to be patient with our guys. 1 or 2 years isn't going to be enough. Honestly, I think within that 3 going into an option year to that 4, and then that 5th year is where we really take that jump. But we do have to be patient. But we're in a time where basketball is not patient anymore. I think that's the part that sucks about it. But with Darius Acuff, the thing that stands out to me about him is he's an offensive juggernaut. Now everybody wants to make their assumptions and how he will do or make their observations or how he does defensively. But to my knowledge, we didn't draft Acuff to be a defensive stopper. That's where the roster construction comes in. That's where the team comes in and builds around him. We didn't draft Acuff to be the 3-and-D or the Patrick Beverly. We drafted him to score the basketball and be our point guard and run our offense. So
where are you at with Domantas Sabonis? I mean, after yesterday's game, I saw some people say, you know what, maybe we should hold on to the vets just a little bit longer. I know. I know Sabonis has been in trade rumors for a bit, but where are you at with Domas?
The thing about Domas, man, is we know what we're going to get. He's going to produce for us, for sure. I think it's just his contract is a lot. It's an abundance. But at the time, it made sense. So Maxime right now definitely, I think, needs another year or two to really be that guy for us. And I think being behind Domantas is the key here. But I think going into the season, Domantas and Acuff is going to be something exceptional because Acuff's going to have a guy who really sets pretty good screens and who's really good in that short roll situation. So I'm definitely excited to see them work.
That's Marcellus Howard, nice enough to join us. And on your the backyard videos on YouTube, you obviously show that you could play a little bit. I'm just curious, how much basketball have you played, real basketball?
Yeah, so I graduated from an NCAA Division II institution in 2018. So I played until I was 22-ish? About 22, 23. So I played college basketball at a high level. And after that, I've been around NBA guys. My best friend got drafted to the NBA. So I've been around that level of basketball for all my life. So, I think real basketball is subjective. I do think if you can get to the college level, even if it's junior college, Division I, NAIA, D2, D3, anything like that, like you're a part of that 1%. So there's a lot of people out there that never played past high school. So I think it's a blessing to play at any level.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Where are you at with Zach LaVine? I mean, it's been a tough road for him, right? Connected to the De'Aaron Fox trade. We know he can shoot. The contract conversations had that situation with the fan. It's been a bit of a rough go for LaVine out here. I think we look at Zach LaVine, Marcellus, a lot of fans, and he gets a lot of grief because he almost represents the end of the Beam Team era. And I don't think that's very fair, but that's just how it seems to come off. What do you think about Zach LaVine? Contract year, Marcellus, you got to get that paper. So I'm thinking he might be a little motivated to get after it this season.
Interesting take it's interesting thing around Zach LaVine, right? Because he opts into the $50 million. I don't think anybody in their right mind would not opt into that $50 million because you're not guaranteed to get that in your next contract. So regardless if he has a bad or good year, that $50 million is something that he's like, I can count on that $50 million. I'm gonna go opt into that because if he opted out and he renegotiated his contract, I doubt the $50 million is going to come around per year. So for Zach LaVine, like you said, it's definitely a contract year for him. So he definitely wants to show a little bit of something. I envision after this year, he moves on from the Sacramento Kings. I think it's time. I think he's paid his dues here. It's just, I think the organization is going a different direction with away from him and DeRozan and things of that nature. So, but for LaVine, man, he's a scorer. I think there's contenders out there that can use his scoring capabilities for sure. But this year he'll be locked in with us for at least one more year. So hopefully it could be a good one.
Marcellus, let's be honest here. LeBron, if he doesn't come to Sacramento, it doesn't look like he will. But if he doesn't, isn't he missing a wonderful opportunity to bring it back to the place where it all started?
Hey, I agree with you 100%. I even said this. I don't know if I said it in one of my videos or not, but it makes perfect sense. Your very first game, like you said, was in Sacramento, California. Let's say you retire this year. You have to retire in Sacramento, California. That's the only way. And the only way to do that is to be a Sacramento King. You know what I'm saying? We can't bank on Adam Silver putting the Sacramento Kings at game 82. You know, you have to be a king for that to happen. And I think it's, I think we have a good roster around him. He can come here and be the guy. If he wins a championship here, he'll be the consensus GOAT. It makes too much sense, man. It's got to happen.
Too much sense.
I mean, you got the Kings. Obviously, they call him the King. What do we talk? Sign the dotted line. Just sign the dotted line, Marcellus. It's that simple. It's that simple. That's what. Hey, so do you have anything coming up, Marcellus? I know you do a lot of, by the way, I know you're trying to act like you're an OG. You're not even an unk yet. I know when you turn it from big brother to unk, I seen the graph, okay? You are not even a unk yet. And now these young boys out here, one-on-one, like rap battles, but it's one-on-one basketball. What is going on out there in the basketball media space? Are you getting into any of that? Because, Marcellus, I do have the double cross, fake left, go right. So I'm just curious, what is coming up in the basketball world? Any tournaments that people can check in on stream, things like that?
Yeah, man. I'm a commentator, one third of the ABC crew for The Next Chapter. It's a platform on YouTube that have about 1 million subscribers. They host 1v1s all over the United States, and we have like pay-per-view live events, like it's legit like WWE mixed with boxing and UFC and everything like that. So I think that's what's next. And it's only about 3 years old, about 3.5 years old. So you have guys in this space, a guy in particular, Nazir Kaur, who just beat an ex-NBA player, Archie Goodwin, this past weekend. Nazir Kaur also plays in the Big Three with Ice Cube, his league. So it's like this lane of YouTubers becoming legit paid professionals to play one-on-one basketball is starting to grow at a massive rate. So what's coming up next for us is we have a pay-per-view on July. Is it 22nd? It's next week sometime, but it's called Summit 03, where we have about 5 matchups, and it's live streamed on tncleague.com. And we have a lot of good guys coming. We have a guy who played in the CBA, who's like one of the leading scorers out there. His name's Eugene German. He's coming to make his TNC debut on that pay-per-view as well. So the 1v1 space is growing, man. Like a lot of guys are bought in, and we even back in June of 2025, we got the opportunity to commentate with Kyrie Irving. He commentated an event with us from start to finish.
I saw that.
That was kind of cool as well.
Yeah, Marcellus Howard joining us. You're a Sacramento guy. It's been a tumultuous few months, years for Sacramento fans. I hate to dredge up potentially unpleasant things here, but how did you? I know a lot of Kings fans with the draft, they started coming out of the funk. Some of them in a little bit of a funk about Mike Brown won a championship. De'Aaron Fox was in the finals. How did you deal as a Kings supporter with all of that?
Man, De'Aaron's my guy. So I was super happy for him. But also it's like, that could have been us. We had the Tyrese Halliburton. We had the De'Aaron Fox. We had the Mike Brown. We had the Harrison Barnes, a good vet. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, we had the Mike Malones of the world, like all these guys that are just getting to the NBA finals and winning championships. Our due season's around the corner for sure. So I was excited to see those guys get to the summit for sure, but it should happen to the Kings pretty soon here. Our good karma is around the corner, Kings fans. You just wait. It might be 10 to 20 or 30 years from now, but it's going to happen. It's like history's like a flat circle. It repeats itself. Our last ring was with Oscar Robinson. Our circle's a little slow here. We're on the way though.
Marcellus, who's your favorite King all time?
There's only one answer for this. He was the reason why I really started to like basketball aside from Allen Iverson, and his name was Step Back Bobby Jackson, man. That was my favorite King player of all time.
Man, I'm right there. I'm right there with you.
The Kings apparently, well, I say apparently because yesterday they didn't play this way, but they have talked a lot about playing with a hardest working team, playing with force. I think Sacramento embraces a team that plays that way. It's one thing to say it, another thing to do it. But what do you think of this whole effort as part of this rebuild to establish an identity as we're going to be the hardest working team. We're going to be very physical. It's going to be no fun to play against us.
I mean, we have to establish that, especially in the Western Conference. We can't just be a team that tries to outscore people anymore. That's not going to work. We don't have enough defense to do that. So we have to really hang our hat on the defensive in some way, shape, or form. Because if we're just getting up more shots and we're not able to stop people who have a little more defense than us in the Western Conference, it's going to be very tough. So I look at teams from top to bottom, the Spurs, OKC off the top. You know what I'm saying? They could play both sides of the ball at a high rate. And if we can't compete or stop them from scoring, we're not going to be able to outscore them. We don't have that much offensive power as we did with the Beam team. So I like the identity change. I think that's one of the, not the easiest things, but I think it's the one thing that you can kind of change is the tenacity and grit. Because if you don't want to play a hard, solid basketball, you're not going to make this lineup. And a guy like Emmanuel Sharp, who has shown he's a hard-nosed basketball player, I think he'll fit in very well with this roster from day one, especially with that new mindset.
You talk about defense, Marcellus, and there's one guy who has really carried the burden of defense these last couple seasons. That's Keegan Murray. And that's right, Murray. And Keegan Murray, fans, they're not turning on him, Marcellus, but I think the question is it too late for him to take a leap? What could he become in the league? Is he 3-and-D? Drafted where he was drafted? Could he still be a star? You still holding out hope for Keegan Murray? How good do you think he could be at this point in time?
It's tough, man. Like I said, this is a league where you have to be patient. You got to be patient with your young stars, in my personal opinion. But I do think this is the year where he has to take that jump, because if not, people will be getting impatient with him. So he has to be one of the guys for us, especially with Zach LaVine leaving, with DeMar departing. Keegan Murray is going to be looked at to step up here hugely for the offensive side of the basketball. And of course, defensively, we know we're going to get from Keegan. But from the rookie to sophomore jump to now, I think this is the year where he has to even elevate even more. He has to be like, we have to ask more from Keegan Murray, respectfully. So I'm excited to see what he does with the opportunity he gets this year. But yeah.
That's Marcellus Howard. He's nice enough to join us, obviously, content creator, basketball analyst. Last year the Kings had a young big, it was second team all rookie. I think sometimes we almost overlook Maxime this summer because we're so excited about Acuff and Emmanuel Sharp. What do you see as the ceiling, the potential for Maxime Renaud?
Man, I think he could be a really prolific stretch big in the league. I think he has all the intangibles to do so. And I think he's a pretty heady player IQ-wise. The only thing that he lacks technically is the rim protection. But I mean, it's really hard to have everything, So I think from what he does have, I like what I see with what he does have. I think him and Acuff will be a good duo for us in the future here. But then that's why you go out and get the guys that can kind of protect the rim and just the rim only, where Maxime can kind of play in that middle ground area, whether he's playing from the 3-point line to the mid post area. So I think with this is the thing I fear, though. I fear that he's going to get good, and then somehow, some way, shape, or form, the Kings are going to part ways with him, and then he becomes an even better basketball player elsewhere. So we have a good track history or a track record of that, and I'm really scared that that's going to happen with him and Acuff potentially. So yeah, just PTSD.
That's part of being a Kings fan. You have to acknowledge that because of their history and embrace it. But then at some point you got to say, okay, I'm going to put that away, but it's there. You can't ignore it. Right. I mean, that's a reality.
Exactly. I think last thing I'll add to that too is the hard part about being a Kings fan is we know we're not the end destination for anybody. So we have to maximize those years. We have to. Our longest tenure King is De'Aaron Fox. And that was 8 years? No one's been the Kings longer than that? Insane.
Some of the draft picks that Scott Perry has made, been some splashes, like you said, Renaud, Dylan Cardwell always bringing energy, and he was undrafted. What do you think about the job Scott Perry has done so far? Obviously, he has ties to the New York Knicks and what they just did, winning a championship. What do you think of the job that Scott Perry has done? And do you check out his Monday motivations on X every Monday?
I do not check out the Monday motivations just because I don't want to be so bought in so early. I kind of want to just ease this summer route out, get to the season, because I'm a person where I get bought in too early in the summer and I start overreacting too early. So I just want to go ahead and just be as just positive as possible and just watch the games only, and then just kind of just decompress from that. But I like what Scott Perry is doing with the Kings early. I think with this draft, it was really hard to miss within the first 10 to 15 picks. Like, you really couldn't miss technically. So I love the way Acuff fell to us. It was going to be either a Michael or Acuff. And I'm excited we got Acuff. The player that I did want, that I wish we could have found a way to trade up for, I've been very high on him since college, is Caleb Wilson. To me, he's the best player in the draft. That was the player I envisioned the Kings making a move for. I think he has that generational type of pull that, but I am excited and happy we got Acuff because I didn't think he was going to fall to us. So I think Scott Perry did a good job with that. And also with getting Sharp as well in the second round. I think that's a steal for where we got him at, because he's been playing exceptional for Summer League right now. And yeah, I love what Scott Perry's doing.
Yeah, we're talking with Marcellus Howard. It's funny you talk about the Kings and longevity. And this week, a couple days ago, we talked to Jason Thompson. Jason Thompson's here at Summer League. Jason Thompson, as you probably know, has played more games as a Sacramento King than anyone. De'Aaron Fox was on track, on pace to pass him, and he didn't quite make it. So we mentioned that to Jason Thompson, and I asked him, what that means to him. And he said, it's possible I didn't really know that. It was just kind of funny. But we've got a long tenured King, of course, coaching. What do you think Doug Christie has to accomplish this year with everything going on and team in a rebuild to convince the management that he should be the coach going forward?
Playing. This is the plan. This is the 10th seed. The Warriors made 10th seed last year with like 36, 35 wins. So I feel like that's not too much to ask. Just to get to that 10th seed, some way, shape, form. I know it's dang near impossible to get to that 6th seed. Okay. It's impossible to be a top 6 team in the West. It's too loaded right now. But get us into that play-in, show us some promise, and I think Doug Christie will be fine.
Marcellus, I just want to confirm here, okay? Are you retired from hooping? Are you still hooping in any capacity, the 1v1s, or are you on the other side now? I just want to confirm. The people want to know. They're asking me. My phone is blowing up. I got my watch going. They want to know, are you done competing, or are you still in the game?
I am as far removed as Kwame Brown. So that's your answer. I play in my backyard only. And I'll get up and down 5v5 here and there, maybe once or twice a month or every other month. But 1v1 basketball, I think for me, it served its course when I was actively playing during COVID in 2019. I just don't have the desire for that. My dream job as a kid was always to be a sports commentator and a kind of an analyst. So I'm able to blaze my own path doing that. And that's really what I'm passionate about. So.
Well, you just you mentioned, kind of going to the other side, and I know we were kind of texting back and forth. Congrats! I know you're not a brand new dad anymore, but you're still a newer dad. So welcome to the Girl Dad crew as well. How has that been entering fatherhood, and how has that kind of changed your outlook on for your professional life, just everything as a whole?
It's definitely hard, but I think it's gratifying. It's rewarding. I think parenthood is far from the easiest thing in the world, but you can kind of paint your own picture with it. You get your own slate. You can kind of rewrite your childhood in a positive way, the stuff that you wish you kind of had. So I take full lead in that. I definitely want to give my daughter what I didn't have as a kid, or do the things I wasn't able to do, or, be an open book and have these open conversations, of course, as she gets older. But doing things like that. And it definitely has some rough patches, raising kids isn't easy. So sometimes you may lose some sleep for a couple of weeks at hand, or, you may just feel a little groggy, but you still got to work to get done at work. But at the end of the day, I think it's the hardest thing that I love doing. So I wouldn't rather have anything else be this difficult technically than parenthood. So I love it.
I wanted to ask you now to clarify. You say you're as far removed from the game as Kwame Brown. But if Alan puts this invitational together, would you consider would you consider coming out of retirement to play in the Allen Styles Celebrity Invitational if that ever happens?
For sure. Absolutely. Like I said, I'm still in shape.
Come
Just 'cause
on.
I don't hoop every day. I'm very well in shape. I'm a vegan. I have a good diet. This is that's easy work. So yeah.
There we go. Lock it in. Lock it in.
Marcellus Howard, thank you so much for your time and your words of inspiration on Basketball and Life. We appreciate it. We hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you guys so much, man. Go Kings!
Go Kings. Yes, it's the Drive guys from the Sack Shack. We got Ryan Howard coming up. Yeah, no, not Ryan Howard. We have Ryan Hollins, our friend Ryan Hollins. He's going to join us next here. Drive guys on Sactown Short. Sorry about that. Ryan.
And we're live from the living room as Doug eyes up the match day spread. He's reaching for the Buffalo wing. Perfect. Hang on, what's this? Oh, he's gone for a can of Pepsi too. Incredible. What a finish. Sensational combination. Look at the delight on his face. There's no doubt about it. It just tastes better. Match days deserve Pepsi. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a pack of Pepsi Zero Sugar for today's match. It's poetry in motion.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is, what makes us different from other law firms?
At Gingery, Hammer & Associates, we handle your case from beginning to the end.
Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether it must go into litigation, or whether it has to go all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve.
When you get an injury, just call Gingery.
The other guys must think you failed math. Get this huge discount. Then the fine print hits you with $5,200 in mandatory ads. It's adorable in a scammy kind of way. At Hoblet, we skip the tricks. The price you see is the price you actually pay. What a wild concept, huh? Hoblet, family owned 77 years. Experience the difference online at hobletdodge.com.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/music. That's ethos.com/music. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Today, we tip our wrench to Rock Auto customer Jeremy.
I've been a RockAuto.com customer for over 15 years, and now even my kids order their parts there. Prices are always far lower than the local auto parts store. Selection is massive, and the site makes it unbelievably easy to find exactly what we need. Every order shows up fast, and the quality is always top tier. RockAuto.com has earned my trust for life, and I highly recommend them.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
The sounds of summer. They're great until they're not. Luckily, AutoZone has free battery testing and charging
Let me check that for you.
to help make a rough moment smooth. Don't miss the Celebrate Free event at AutoZone. Free products with select deals until July 27th, and free services every day. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Live from Las Vegas for NBA Summer League, presented by Power Business Technology. Here's Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Back.
In Houston, man. We waiting for the regular season.
Okay. All right. I understand that. How has Summer League changed the most since young Ryan Hollins was a player?
Man, funny you bring that up. Our Orlando Summer League, we were away in a closed gym full of scouts, general managers, and coaches. And all the excitement behind Summer League and everything wasn't there. I think they aired on like NBA TV or something. So I think it was a nervousness at first, and it was like, guys are going to Vegas. Isn't there going to be a lot of distractions, all this stuff? And I remember a coach just put it to me like this: if you feel like you need to go to an NBA Summer League to go party or go out, easiest test to be failed. NBA is not for you, my man. You cannot you cannot withstand the distractions there.
What about the overreactions, Ryan? You know, somebody has a good game. Man, this is the best pick ever. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Somebody has a bad game. How in the world could the whatever team have picked this player? Have the overreactions always been this much, or has social media kind of added to that as well?
Social media absolutely pushes it. I think Ty Jones dunked over Wemby, and everybody's, oh, he's a bust. He's not who he's supposed to be. Oh, no, hey, man, Wemby's a generational talent, okay? We're going to be having his name in some conversations along the line, and I think everybody sees that. So it's all about putting your best foot forward. Unfortunately, these guys can be canceled after a game, or excuses, or organizations want to hide guys, especially for the upper picks, and it's a different level of basketball. So some people can thrive in summer leagues. Sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but it's tough as analysts because we're looking at it and saying, this guy's going to fit into the regular season like this, and this. And training camp is different. Summer league's different. Regular season is different, and then playoffs are a whole different monster.
Ryan Hollins, nice enough to join us. You talked about, you were a fine player, outstanding broadcaster now, and you talked about how those distractions at Vegas can separate the wheat from the chaff as a player. Does that also apply to broadcasters sometimes? Can what they're doing, outside of work also give you an idea what kind of broadcaster, not to name any names, but just curious your thoughts on that?
I mean, hey, these are all business trips. We got to handle ourselves professionally. And hey, Whitey, I had a pretty good broadcasting coach, man. I had somebody take care of me when I was playing. So I appreciate you. But it's funny, Whitey, I'm in the position I'm in, and you would assume the team has done their homework. Is this a guy that's going to be going out and partying, and where his mindset is? Not that you can't go out and enjoy yourself. From our standpoint, also, you represent the organization. So you don't want to be popping up on the news from the broadcast side either. So that goes into it. In the same discipline as a player, we can enjoy ourselves a bit more, but you still got to be mindful.
Ryan,
Did you hear that? Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, I'm not talking to me. I mean, there are a lot of people, there's a lot going on, not talking to me. That's for everybody else that needs to hear it, though. I'm glad Ryan said it for everybody else that needs to hear it, Ryan. Thank you for that. We needed that. We needed that. So the conversation with Keegan Murray, we compare him a lot to Jabari Smith Jr. because they were the same draft class, of course, right? And with Keegan, I know some fans out here are getting a little bit antsy. When are they going to see the leap? When are they going to see that? He's about to be 26, so he's 25 years old. Do you think there's a certain age where that quote unquote leap needs to happen? Do you think there's a limit on that, or are people just more impatient than they should be?
Every player is different. Luka Doncic, there's not going to be a lot of upside. He's coming into the league great. Keegan Murray's a guy I feel like as a rookie, if rain, sleet, or snow, you know a role that he can play and play for a long time in the NBA. Now the challenge is, him playmaking, manufacturing his own points. Hey, option number one. I don't think he's option number one, but I think he's a great three. And even in some situations, a great two, and an excellent piece of an organization. There's not a lot of guys with his size, skill set, ability to shoot and score. And I think even to answer your question, like a Jabari Smith Jr., it's going to take you 7 or 8 years before you get the most from Jabari. And as a scout, looks at guys, you evaluate: is he a 2-year project, 4-year, 5-year, 7-year project? I think Jabari is going to take 7 or 8 years because he's still going to fill out. He's still going to get stronger. The type of work that he puts in the offseason. So as you evaluate guys, that also is a window that you peg them into to see what they can become and how long it's going to take. And you have some guys that give you immediate impact. So unfortunately, sometimes the expectation, like, man, he scored 12 or 13 points average as a rookie. So man, he can be in a 30 point game. Nah, man, he's great in that role. So and every system's different, but I think for the players, some of them come in as a very finished and polished product. And when I see Keegan, I think he's a heck of a player. And he's been that way from day one.
Ryan Hall's nice enough to join us, and we've known each other a while, so we can ask each other anything. So I got to ask you: has KD ever said anything about you in any of his burner accounts?
Listen, no one can confirm those accounts, man. Mighty, those are all hearsay. What is wrong with you, man? Those aren't hearsay. But I will say this, Whitey, as you just having fun with everybody, okay? I don't know if somebody went out last night, okay, Whitey? It might be you, the one who went out last night. But Katie's been a breath of fresh air, man. Yeah, see. Katie's been a breath of fresh air. From a media perspective, we go and talk to guys. He's open. He'll talk with you. He'll joke before the broadcast. I'll joke with him. I'll ask him something. He has no problems answering. He's got a true respect for the game. And I think even for myself, like, it's funny that the younger guys would walk by me and kind of didn't know me a little bit. And then Kevin comes up, man, full on bear hug. How you doing this? And I think for myself, he's even warmed a lot of the other guys up, or he just believes in respect for the game, man. So from my standpoint, I'm telling you, man, he's been amazing. And, Kevin's just going to tell you how he feels. He's not going to sugarcoat it. So I think people are going to have to respect that. And there's no confirmation of these accounts, Whitey. So you know that, man. You are not guilty under any circumstance, man. What's wrong with you?
I don't know where that came from. That's a good point you make. I don't know, Alan.
Yeah. He's been like this all day, all day. Ryan, the Rockets, we talk a lot about the Rockets because they kind of married the rebuild, the end of a rebuild, getting some young talent, and then they hit the NOS button when they go get Kevin Durant, and now you got to marry those two things together. How has that been kind of watching a team, because the Kings are doing a version of that, having Sabonis and Levine still on the squad, but now having the A-Cups of the world and guys like that. How has that been, that, I guess, combination of making sure that the young guys are developing, getting opportunities, but your timeline changes a little bit? Hey, we trying to leave with some hardware. We're trying to leave with a Larry O'Brien.
No, you guys understand that too. It's tough being stuck in the middle. And with all due respect, this is not from insider information or anything, but I think Houston was stuck in the middle last season. With Fred's injury, it was like you can go and make a trade, but that move could set you back for you don't know how long. Or you can be patient and say, let's work with what we have, let the younger guys improve. And then when you have a full cast, see how it works out. And sometimes, you got to hit that button from development to go, and then you bring in pieces. And sometimes, again, it's not fun being in the middle. all great being up top, but you got to go from those rough young stages to building right, and you need so many things to go great. You know, like Fred's ACL injury. Like Fred is the guy that travels with his trainer. Fred is the guy that he on vacation with his trainer getting workouts in. So when he went down for an injury, everybody from our side was absolutely shocked, and that just shows you how small of a window is for a championship and how tough it is. And I think when you look forward, Houston will be able to say, hey, we could have overreacted to the injury, but we knew we had a group that we don't need to change, we believe in, and you want to fight again for the next day.
Ryan Hollins with us. I have a basketball question for you, a legitimate one. The Kings bring in Darius Acuff. We know he's not a good defender. They didn't bring him here to be a good defender, but the Kings are talking about the identity they want to form, which is to be tough, hardworking, defensive-minded. So how tricky is it for a team that wants to be defensive-minded when you have a point guard who is not an excellent defender?
Well, you get guys that fit around him. And as a rookie, he's going to be held to expectations. And you look at Steph Curry, the guy on the other side of the bay. And the one thing that Steph Curry's done is he's become a team defender. You may not be a great defender, but you can play within a team concept and be tough-minded. And that's what you're going to expect of Acuff. And he's such a unique talent because he can see the second level of defense. He's not thinking about the first man. And I think physically, he's going to have to catch up to the league. He's going to have to see the speed of the league because it's different than college. But like he's got an old soul when you watch him. He's not celebrating after he scores. He's a gym rat. He puts in the work. So it's very unique. And he's got a situation there, I think, with Sabonis getting back, where offensively you got a guy with some firepower, and you can look. If I'm a guard, Sabonis is your best friend. If it's not Nikola Jokic, Sabonis is right behind there and right in the mix out front Şengün, a guy that we have. But Sabonis, you can truly run offense through him, and he's a guard's best friend getting you looks. So that's going to be a fun matchup to see. And again, he's going to have to be a team defender. That will be the difference.
So we know that this draft class was supposed to be pretty crazy there, Ryan, talking about, this is the best draft class since 2003, since 1996. And I know when we were discussing it, we're thinking, all right, there's some talent here, but let's see. I know it's just been Summer League, but how impressed have you been with the draft class so far? Because they are putting on a show there, Ryan. They're putting on a show.
Yeah, I think the top picks, and you don't always see this, have lived up to expectation, as you've seen. Caleb Wilson is tough. So you see his length and how much ground that he covers, and the kid over there in Washington, Darren Peterson, man, he can score. It's seamless, and again, these guys have been practicing and working like pros since they've been in high school. So that translation has been there, and you can see a lot of the excitement. But the top 8 picks in this draft were all potentially franchise-changing pieces. So you see the excitement, and again, a lot of times you don't see that immediate changeover. What it shows is that these guys have been on the scene for a very long time. This is as close to a sure thing as you can get.
Ryan Hollins, you're the best, my friend. We appreciate your time very much. We miss you here, but glad you're having some quality family time. And we hope to talk to you again very soon. Thanks, Ryan.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I don't know where that KD question came from. Yeah, the producer gives you these questions, and you got so thank you, Ryan. It's a drive, guys. We'll come back, wrap things up from Vegas next on Sactown Sports.
Everyone loves to be outside, and so do mosquitoes. Protect yourself against mosquitoes and West Nile virus by following these simple tips. At least once a week, look around your yard and drain stagnant water from any containers where mosquitoes can breed. Remember to use an effective mosquito repellent, especially at dawn and dusk when mosquitoes are most active. Close all doors and be sure screens are in good working condition. At the Mosquito and Vector Control District, we're here to help. Visit us at fightthebite.net.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Any golfer would be thrilled to listen to Jack Nicklaus talk, and I had to tap the enthusiasm brakes a bit when I had a chance to interview him. But over the course of 40-plus years, Nicklaus wrote enduring words in Golf Digest magazine. Max Adler compiles some of the best. Nicklaus says, "When I putt, I hold my breath before initiating the stroke to keep my head and body still." About putting, he said, "I visualize the putter shaft as being extremely limber, almost as flexible as a length of rope. which means the only way I can get the club head to swing truly is to stroke putts very softly. He said the harder I want to hit a shot, the slower I try to begin the swing. About the game, he said, the key to playing well is to understand who you are as a person and then manage that. I'm finding now more than ever that the game of a lifetime can give you the time of your life without ever striking a shot. Sounds pretty much like life itself. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Let me tell you about the Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite. It's bright, it's bubbly, it's back.
The Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich, it's so rich, and you can choose between the original or the spicy filet.
Ooh, boy.
And then you got those pickled jalapenos tucked right under the filet, and then just to top it all off, you've got a little honey drizzle right on top.
Okay, now I'm a pimento fan.
And I'm feeling the dragon fruit.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Live from Las Vegas for NBA Summer League, presented by Power Business Technology. Here's Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Drive guys wrapping things up today from the Sack Shack, and then we're off to the Thomas and Nest for some the rest of the Kings game tonight at golf.
That's right. That's right. Excited to watch them against the Celtics.
Mm-hmm. Got a list for you here, Alan, that I don't think you're gonna like too much. So save it for the end of the show, okay? Because I don't want it to be something that drags you down for the rest of the program.
Okay.
Yeah, this is from Ben Golliver, ESPN.com. Most interesting sophomore players to watch for the 26-27 NBA season. I have to warn you, there are no Kings on this list, but there is a Queen.
All right.
Already
annoyed.
Yeah, I figured you would be. Number 10, Carter Bryant, San Antonio Spurs. Number 14 pick in the 2025 draft.
Finals, very respectful. I understand that for sure.
Number 9 on the list of the most interesting sophomores this upcoming NBA season. The number 8 pick in the 2025 draft, and we just saw him, Igor Demin, Brooklyn Nets.
I like him. He had a hot end to the season, and people are starting to talk about him a little bit. So I get that. I get it.
Okay. Number 8. He was the 13th pick in 2025. Derek Queen of the Pelicans.
Okay. I mean, there's just something, people love these skilled bigs, right? I think it's something that they really enjoy watching. So at this point, we know, like you said, no Kings on it. So Derek Queen getting on it, but no Maxime Reynaud. When Maxime Reynaud, we know what he did last season compared to Derek Queen, who wasn't bad.
Yeah.
He was not bad. Don't get me wrong, but there's just something about, I don't know, maybe Whitey, honestly, maybe it's all connected to that trade and just the idea that the Pelicans did give up what they gave up. So, man, let's continue to watch this guy and see if it's going to be worth it.
I think you're exactly right. Ben Golliver says Queen makes this list because he could eventually be the player who convinces New Orleans to escape its purgatory and angle toward a youth movement. So, yeah, it's all part of that. Looking at Ben Golliver's list here, the 10 most interesting sophomores next year, Maxime didn't make it. No Kings made this list. Number 7 is Ace Bailey. I know you're very familiar with his game.
Very familiar. He should be higher. I think that's all I have to say about that.
That's well said. Number 6 from the Memphis Grizzlies. He was the number 11 pick. Okay. Cedric Coward.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna front. Don't feel like I got to watch a lot of his game. I think one of the Grizzlies games against the Kings, he didn't play. So I know people are really high on him, and I actually think he might have struggled a little bit against the Kings. So I haven't seen him at his best, but I know people are raving about him, and that's your scary Grizzlies.
I'm higher on them than you are, yeah. But
you're higher on them than everyone.
Yes, I understand why you're not a big Cedric Coward fan, because he's not one of the younger guys, and you got a real issue with that.
No,
Coward has looked erratic at times. Let's see here. This is interesting. Can he make a meaningful second-year leap, or should expectations be tempered because he's 3 years older than many of the other players on this list?
So they think maybe, hey, he came in hot. Almost, honestly, Whitey, kind of similar to Yaxel Lendeborg, right? Hey, is your ceiling maybe not as high because you're 3 years older than some of these freshmen?
Yeah. Boy, your Warriors are really excited about him, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, they should be. That's exactly what they needed. I mean, not to compete or contend for a championship, but just a solid young piece. They haven't really had that or been able to draft that high lately because they've been stuck in that kind of middle ground.
Continuing here, halfway through the list of the most interesting sophomores coming up this NBA season, VJ Edgecombe is number 5. Going to be interesting to see what role emerges for him with Jaylen Brown now part of that crew. I think chemistry is going to be a big issue for them.
Yeah, I really like VJ Edgecombe. And funny enough, the conversation we had with Ryan Hollins about it, the Rockets in a similar situation, they decided to move off of Jalen Green. But that's what I've always thought about the Jabari Smith Jr. thing, bringing in Kevin Durant. Will that affect Jabari and the amount of touches that he gets? Now, when you look at making that next step and making that next leap, how do you develop guys while you're still trying to contend?
Honestly, the question I asked Ryan Hollins about KD and the burner accounts, was that both feet in NFL style, 1 foot in college, or was that nope, out of bounds?
That was
I think that's
you have a relationship. You guys know each other, so I'm gonna say you're good.
That was a catch.
I wouldn't have asked that, but for you could. You're good. Yes.
Full possession. That's a catch.
That's right.
No need to review it. Number 4 on this list, Juan Berenger, Minnesota Timberwolves.
They like him a lot. That's part of the reason they moved on from the guys they moved on from to acquire, obviously, LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, I understand that Minnesota now, they've got a shortage in the front court, so he becomes important, but that doesn't make him any better than he was last year.
No. And, I mean, he's 20 years. There's a lot to ask of a 20-year-old. Right? For the guys that you moved, you just became very important at work.
Yeah.
In a day.
Yes. Now the top 3, according to ESPN.com and Ben Golliver, the top 3 most interesting sophomores for the upcoming NBA season. Con Knippel, Charlotte Hornets. Maybe he should be higher. Number 2 is Cooper Flagg. And number 1 is, of course, Dylan Harper. There's still a lot of Kings fans that say, how did the Kings not get Dylan Harper? Or Stephon Castle, it would have been Stephon Castle, really, or somebody of that ilk for De'Aaron Fox. Well, it's because the Spurs weren't going to give up anybody of that caliber.
Well, it's funny, too, because of how things have changed with De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
That now, all of a sudden, it does feel ridiculous that the Kings could have gotten one, Dylan Harper or Stephon Castle, but it wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't ridiculous prior to that.
I think it's great, Frankie, because he's the leader. He's got responsibilities here, so he's doing some yard work.
Yeah,
I realize apparently that we're on the air.
Keeping everything looking good outside, in case.
Where did he find the blower?
I don't know. In the garage, and they've been working hard. He's been here for 4 hours. They've been really just getting after it outside.
Frankie, come and get some water.
Yeah, we got a nice glass of lemonade or something like that. So we appreciate you.
Now a chance for you to vent, if you care to, over the fact that there is not a single King on this list.
It's the same old thing. And I guarantee you they have these lists, and then at the end of it they say, so-and-so could have easily been on this list. Well, that's the most annoying thing ever. That profile that you always joke me about from my showcase, right? When they say, and I know you've read it multiple times, could have been named to all tournament and no one would have objected it. What does that mean?
I don't remember.
What does that mean?
Actually, but I'm sure
you can read it again. So Maxime Reynel could have been on this list and I would have had no objections. That is the worst thing you could tell someone. That is the worst thing you could tell someone, because what are they supposed to do with that? So I'm not on the list, but I should be, or not that I should be, but I would have been okay, I would have been okay with him being on the list too. He deserved to be on the list too.
That's an upset. I did not see it coming, where we talk about a list of NBA players and Alan somehow makes it about him and his career.
I had that one in the chamber for a while. And I was waiting for the perfect opportunity.
Totally out of left field. What do we need to see? I know the game's already underway. Kings and the Celtics tonight. Just a little bit of grit, right? Something.
You take the fight to them. Tonight, today,
yes,
of all night,
this afternoon,
and all days,
into the early evening.
You take the fight to them. on your terms, at your pace, at your style, on your mind.
Right.
That's what it is.
That's well said. Is that kind of what you did when you were running around in the street?
Yeah, now I want to run it again. I had more. I really wanted to leave healthy. I did. You know, we're not at home. You know, you just don't want any disasters.
And you can leave healthy now, so maybe you should.
That's right.
Everybody loves the video.
I'm going to rerun it in Sacramento on my home course, home turf.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe I'll get out there tomorrow and I'll see how I do. What'd you say? You think I could do a sub-8?
See, and it's going higher now. Okay. It's going higher now.
It's trending upwards.
See, and everybody wants to talk about, oh, well, you guys are having too much fun out there. This is not vacation. Vacation, we are out here training. We are out here putting out content.
Frankie's doing yard work.
Frankie's doing yard work for some odd reason. So we're doing a lot of different things here. So you know, we're never going to stop giving you everything to live vicariously through us.
Is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wow, what is all this? These screens, the food.
All for the game, bro.
Let us pitch in.
No need. I'm saving $1,000 bundling my wireless and internet with T-Mobile. I've got it all covered.
Goal!
Here to score big with T-Mobile. Families save up to $1,000 a year when they bundle 5G home internet with 4 phone lines on Experience Beyond. Compared to regular